What's going on, everyone? Conservative Video Dipper here. If you got a dip, pack a lip. I will pack one here in a sec. Now, when it comes to politics, let's be honest, we have to hold both sides accountable, whether you're on the left or the right. And that means not doing or acting or saying things that you should not be doing or saying or acting upon as such. This guy that we're about to listen to, a different guy, not the same guy that we always talk about, but a different guy, is reacting to a video that a veteran made disagreeing with Trump supporters. Now, this again may sting a little bit for some Trump supporters because he disagrees with Trump and Trump supporters about their belief. But at the same time, he's protected under the First Amendment. So, let's get into it.
The bearded traveling veteran has a message for DJT. Let's listen to it. Watch.
President Trump, I'm making this to you right fucking now. Alright? I am here in Dearborn, fucking Michigan.
Now, we know Michigan's pretty liberal. And if I'm correct, Dearborn, Michigan is a city in Michigan, which obviously we know it's going to be probably more politically leaning left than right. But there are probably conservatives that go there and hopefully peacefully protest. But anyway.
Been here for 4 fucking days. Your fucking MAGA party is starting shit all over this fucking country.
Okay, he's making allegations that Trump's MAGA party is behaving inappropriately and not in the best way. This is why I will tell people always this. I don't care what side you are on. You need to remember, always act like an adult. Hold yourself accountable. Hold other people accountable that are your friends that you see kind of getting out of line. It's okay to disagree with each other, whether you're left or right, and have a conversation peacefully, just like what normally Charlie Kirk used to do. It's okay to do that. But to allegedly threaten or do something or say something, that's not right. And as Trump supporters, we should really look at this as this is not how we should act. Yes, there are liberals that behave well and are just your average everyday Joe people that don't go out there and protest. And the same with MAGA. But there are liberals and progressives and MAGA that go out and protest. But that does not mean doing something that could potentially get you in legality issues.
Your fucking MAGA party is racist as fuck.
Okay, he's alleging that our party's racist. Well, of course. But what we have to understand is that this is his opinion. He has the right to his freedom of speech and what he thinks of us. As much as we may not like it, I disagree with it. The word racist, yes, kind of lost its meaning. But he has every right to say it. And whether or not we agree with it or disagree with it, that's okay. But understand that we need to not be that way. Nobody should be that way. Nobody should be racist. Nobody should be hateful towards anybody. But that's kind of what's happening right now in our world, sadly.
Is this what you want as your fucking presidential bullshit? Are you fucking kidding me? Go through all my fucking comments, President Trump, and then I want you to look up the fucking nationality of fucking Dearborn. How much you put that shit out there on fucking line? I'm exhausted with this shit. You want to talk about traitors? All you fucking MAGA motherfuckers are traitors.
Sure, I disagree with that. I don't think that real, true, good conservative or Republicans that may follow Trump are traitors. They just believe in what they believe in. Again, he has the right to say what he wants about us. As much as I may disagree with it, he has that right. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think we are traitors. I think there are MAGA supporters like me that just want this country to go back to where it should be. The way that where everyone could just live amongst each other peacefully and not have hate or the political bias differences make people hate people or like people because of their political belief. But everyone should just be equal and treated the same way equally and fairly.
President Trump, this is your MAGA movement?
No. MAGA is about what basically we are about, the Constitution, the constitutional republic for which it stands. We pick a president based on what they say that they will do for us. And when the vote comes down to it, we vote them in or we can vote them back out.
That's coming at me? All these fat fucks that want to meet death threats?
There. He just acknowledged that he has had alleged death threats. This is one thing that I will say that nobody should ever do to anyone. Just because you people or anyone, people are the political opposition of each other, there should be no room or no need to threaten anyone. I don't care whether you're left or right. I don't give a shit what your political opposition is or where you stand politically on the scale. It gives you no right to threaten people, whether it's electronically or verbally. Nobody should threaten anyone. That's illegal. And that can cause legality issues. Now, I agree that we should have every right to believe in what we want to believe in, but as long as we're not threatening people, we're fine. But if you start threatening people and harassing people because you don't like what they believe in, that's going to be a problem. And that is not what MAGA, true Republicans or conservatives should do. That is not what we do as people. We are above this. We should all be like adults. Have adult conversations. Whether you try to find common ground or you don't find common ground amongst each other and your political differences, just know that the world is not going to stop because your political opposition is against you or you're against them. And it, again, does not leave any room for any threats. That should not be done at all. And I will never allow it for anyone to threaten anybody. And it's just not tolerated, and nor should it ever be tolerated. I don't care, again, what side you're on. Threats are threats. That's illegal. That's a legality issue that you will have to face the consequences for doing such.
I'm gonna turn it to the fucking police.
And he has every right to turn it into the police, by the way, because if he fears for his life, then yes, he has every right to protect his family and do what he has to do legally. So I understand he's angry. But again, Trump supporters, this is not what we do. Do not go out there just because liberals are intolerant, or the progressive are very intolerant and they're not smart enough to think for themselves, does not give you any right to threaten people. Even the progressives should not be threatening anyone either. Both sides or any human being should never threaten somebody. That's just plain and simple, in my opinion.
They called me last night, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, send me fucking.
And trying to call somebody, harass them, that is not allowed either. And that should not be tolerated either. And that is not tolerated either. We are better than that. We need to be better than that. This is, again, where we got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to be adults here about this. I get that politics really is a issue here in America, and it is, and I'm sure every other country knows that American politics is a big deal. But we can handle it appropriately without harassing or allegedly verbally or electronically threatening people. That's just not right.
Messages, this is your fucking movement, President Trump.
No, that's not. I don't think Trump would allow that. And if he did allegedly allow that, how many people do you think would start leaving? A lot of people. But again, kind of look at the left. Now I'm going to kind of point out to the progressives because they're a great prime example of what not to be and how not to act. Just because they act childish, foolish, and not very bright thinking with intelligence, and they don't use their brain, does not give us the right to do the same thing. We should be smarter than they are. We should understand that, okay, constitutional right says you have every right to agree or disagree with me. But I'm not going to threaten you because of it. I will just say I disagree with you because of certain bases and facts and statistics that I have looked up that kind of disagree against your argument. But hey, God bless you for having the right to believe in what you want to believe in. That's cool.
Why? Because I don't agree with fucking everything that your fucking movement is doing?
And he, again, I can understand why he's angry. He's a veteran. He's a fucking veteran. He put his life on the line, taking an oath to protect, defend the Constitution and America from foreign and domestic situations. He took that oath. He came back home. As a veteran, he should have every right to be able to say how he feels. We should not try to silence veterans. We should hear their voices. Whether they agree or they oppose our stance in our political belief in our own, whether, again, it aligns with us or doesn't align with us, they have every right, just as me and you, to believe in what they want. Deal with it. Suck it up, buttercups. Both sides need to really start sucking it up, because this is where we're going to have the issue. Because if Trump supporters are going to start acting like liberals or the progressives, then you definitely know that that's going to piss off a lot more people, and a lot more people are going to start leaving. If we want MAGA to hold in their strength in what we believe in, then we need to act a lot more mature. Nothing much. What's going on with you? Thank you for joining. Don't forget to leave a like.
You are up here in Dearborn, Michigan, telling people when their green card fucking expires, go home.
Trump telling elite people that have expired green cards to go home. That's not something that we're not already aware that he is doing. Because if they're here on an expired green card, then they have to go home and come back and try again. It's law. You know, we got to follow the legalities. Nobody is an exemption of law here. Not me, you, or anyone else. Not even the fucking president. Not even the people that are in Congress are exempt from laws. We all have to follow the same rules, laws, and regulations just as much as anyone else. But yes, the government is a little bit more under scrutiny because they are government officials, but they still have to follow the exact same law and order that me and you follow, and everyone else does. Nobody's exempt from this.
Is this what you want, President Trump? Is this your fucking movement?
No, it's not the movement. It's not what we need to be better. We need to help people understand by being vocal and talking, not being like the progressives, not using our brain and just going out of feelings and adrenaline and irrational thought process. We need to be rational.
Because you're starting to piss a lot of fucking people off.
Sure, Trump has pissed a lot of people off. I can imagine. Some people are okay with Trump. Some people don't like Trump. It's okay. I may disagree that, hey, he's pissing off people partially for the right reason, because people are starting to see what really is happening, but it's starting to divide things. It's just weird. Politics can divide, and sometimes it can bring together, but right now it's being more divisive.
I'd say that's a pretty direct message to DJ T and his MAGA base, his radicalized.
I wouldn't say radicalized, because I don't think real, actual Trump supporters would be radicalized or believe in radicalization, weaponizing each other, or what we believe in. We just believe in holding true to what we believe in, not trying to radicalize it and turn it into like what the alleged progressives are doing. No. And that's dangerous. When whatever side of the political spectrum starts getting radicalized, that's when there's a problem. That's when people need to step back and take a look at it and say, is this really what we're about? I thought here for a minute we were about the people, we the people, the Constitution, what we stand for. Trying not to have socialist democracy type ideologies, because America was never a democracy. It was always about the constitutional republic. We should abide by that. And having things like both sides being radicalized is dangerous. That is not going to help us. That's going to deter people from wanting to believe in what you believe in. We should never do that. So if we, for instance, I don't know why you got blocked, Benjamin. I'll have to look into that, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know what you did to get blocked. Let me know if you remember doing anything to possibly potentially getting yourself blocked. And if you got blocked for no reason, I do apologize. Oh, it's anime. I'm sorry. I'm doing good, Bradley. But anyway, the whole point is, it's like, we don't want any side to be radicalized. We just want both sides to, at least some point in time, come to an agreement that we all should fight for the same thing, the Constitution, what we believe in, and what is true. Not because the political leaders want us to allegedly believe, but what they're saying in truth, or if they say something truthfully that is happening, we should look at this as, okay, is it possibly true? Is it not? Where are evidence leading towards it? But again, this is what happens when it comes down to trying to radicalize things. That's what socialists have done. They've become radical. Look at how bad that has gone for them. It has not helped their case in point at all. It just made them look really bad, and it showed a lot of people that this is what happens when people become allegedly too radically pushed into that position, and they don't understand it because they're just warped into it. We can't have that. Both sides should not be that way. We should be like where I'm at. It's for America, people, for us, and it should be about what is right, what our forefathers fought for, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. That's what we should stand and focus on. United we stand, divided we fall. We have become so divided, and it's sad. And COVID has actually did allegedly radicalize people too. That it kind of did bring out a good point over there.
Base. You see, we've been telling you this for over 10 years there, traveling veteran. We've been saying the radicalized ones aren't on the left, they're on the right.
Both sides, I believe, can allegedly be radical. Yes, not just the left, but yes, there can be some alleged people on the right that can be very radical. I don't consider myself radical. I'm more of a conservative. That's why I don't call myself the radical conservative. I just call myself conservative because I believe that, again, being radicalized is just terrible. It's absolutely degrading. And it's not something that we should do. We should focus on what's more important: connection. Put people together that have a plan to help America and to keep America the way it should be, not radicalized in socialism or whether it's radically left or right. It should be about what our Constitution is saying and follow it. Because that's what the problem is. And if you go radically left or right, then that's going to hurt. It's going to make people not want to listen or pay attention to you because they'll think that you are obviously ignorant, too ignorant. And you don't want people to see you for ignorance. You want to see people for what you really stand for, the Constitution.
And now you're seeing it firsthand. Watch this.
So the same guy, the Patriot, looks like he's kind of not really in the face of the dude talking to him, but I can kind of understand why he's a little bit close because maybe he's hard of hearing or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Zen, I am so sorry again about that. I can't hear all what's really going on because there's a lot of background noise. But the guy that we just heard, the veteran that is an anti-Trumper, obviously is really pissed. And he's talking to somebody that probably more than likely is a Trumper, a Trump supporter. Okay, the cameraman's now asking questions. How far did you drive? 1,200 miles.
To stand up for the American Constitution. Then why I don't understand.
For the American Constitution. He's saying that he's out there doing exactly the same thing that they're doing, but he's opposing what they're doing, which is in his constitutional right, as long as he's not touching people, getting up in their faces, or starting problems or issues. He has a right to be there.
If you don't understand the Constitution, you didn't raise your
Something that I don't think that guy should have said was to the cameraman, obviously you don't understand the Constitution. That's ignorant because, first of all, you don't know what the person you're talking to does or does not know personally. You may be talking to somebody that absolutely knows a lot about the Constitution. Sure, that guy was a veteran. He fought for our country. So yes, under oath, he took to protect and serve our constitutional right. But that right there is ignorant, in my opinion, making claims that somebody else doesn't know that. Okay, so whatever. But my opinion would be maybe he could have said, okay, I disagree with you. Maybe you're not understanding or you're not fully understanding why I'm here. Let me explain to you, if you want, why I'm opposing you, why I'm up against you. That's fine. That's a better talking point. It's always best to have good talking points instead of just being ignorant with people. What are we dipping on tonight? Grizzly, long cut, wintergreen. The usual. The huge. Which, thank you for reminding me, because I was almost about to go this whole entire video without dipping. But yeah, it's okay to have disagreements with people as long as you are being kind, considerate, and you understand that maybe people are just either don't care or they just really don't give a fuck. But if they want to understand, if you want people to understand why you're there, at least acknowledge why you're there and may help people fully aware of why you are opposition of their belief or where they stand. Like I tell people all the time, I'm against progressivism, socialism, because socialism and progressivism, both hand in hand, have never worked. They're anti-capitalist. I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism. I believe that we shouldn't allow illegal immigrants to be here illegally. I believe that we do need to take care not only of our veterans, but our American people and take care of our military. The left don't agree with that. They think that they should get rid of everything like that, including cops. I disagree with that. Yes, we should deal with bad cops, but at the same time, there's got to be law and order and balance. So that's why. Because it's like this. When it comes to talking with liberals, sometimes you can't always win with them. Because talking with them is like talking to a brick wall. So maybe you're not going to get through to them, but maybe at some point in life, they will start to come to the recognition that maybe they were wrong about things. That's okay. It's okay to disagree with people, but it's not okay to sit there, bully, and allegedly throw out threats towards people. You can't do that. That's just wrong. But yes, this guy has every American right to believe what he wants. I'm not stopping him. I don't think that he should be stopped. No, nobody should be stopped for what they believe in. They should believe in it. All right, guys, I just cracked a fresh can. Let's go. I would suggest you don't. First of all, Roland, I would suggest you don't because the FBI may be watching me right now. So just remember that, please. Be careful.
That's it. That's all it is. It is. You drove for your 5 minutes of fame, and it fucking backfired in your face. Oh, you fuckers got hurt. Yeah.
Okay, the verbal confrontation. This is where I'm going to stand. I get that people are going to be angry and disagree with each other. And for whatever reason, they think that having a verbal confrontation with somebody is going to make people see their point of view is ridiculous. It's redundant. It's asinine. You can't do that. Just because you don't see their opinion and they don't see your opinion does not mean that you need to start puffing up your chest and trying to beat your chest like a goddamn alpha male, not an alpha male, but a kind of a big wannabe fake alpha male, I guess you could call it. Cheers, by the way. You shouldn't be doing that. What you should be doing is having a more decent conversation. Because decent conversations make a bigger difference than just trying to beat your chest and act like you are all that in a bag of chips when you're not. It doesn't work. That's why I always tell people, don't argue with people that just don't want to listen to you. Because it's just morally degrading yourself. You're putting a lot of energy and time that you shouldn't be. You're basically putting in something that you're not going to receive anything back from. All you're going to receive is backlash and just pure negativity. Don't do that to yourself. Because it's just not what you want. If you put out good energy will be received. But trying to talk to people that disagree with you and then trying to puff up your chest and be like, look, I'm bigger than you. It's stupid. Like, what are you proving right there? That you're a fake alpha male, for one. You're not really big bad. And nobody will take what you say seriously. And on top of that, you just look like a fucking idiot. Standing there trying to beat your chest like you big. No, that's not how you're going to make a difference. How you're going to make a difference is do like what I'm doing. Start looking into what the opposition says, what the conservatives or Republicans are saying. Do research on both sides and take as you will whatever you believe in, whether you're left, right, or you're libertarian. Take that information for what it is. Information. If you think both sides and all sides are bullshit, then believe it. Stay that way. But don't go up to somebody pounding your chest like you fucking King Kong. Because you ain't. That's just stupid.
The bearded traveling veteran is witnessing firsthand MAGA threatening him, saying that he's going to be missing more teeth at the end of this, and that he's only there for clickbait.
How did I get my journalism degree or my journalism? For one, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of learning. I had to learn from watching other tier 2 journalists do the same thing that I'm doing. Having conversations that, maybe a little bit different way than I do, but doing my own research, coming to my own conclusion that whatever side you stick with it. But just know that when it comes to me and my personal belief, I don't think that socialism is ever the acceptable answer. I'm against it. I'm for the Constitution. I'm for we the people. I'm anti-abortion. I'm pretty much where people should be, because there's a lot of conservatives out there that some of them do say a lot of the same things I'm saying, some of them don't. And I think we need more conservatives starting to say what I'm saying, calling both sides the way it should be. Because we can't just say, oh, everything's the left or everything's the right's fault. No, it's both sides. Both sides have fault. There's pros and cons to both sides. Pros, you can find them. Cons, you can find them on both sides. And you do your research. Think logically about where do you see yourself? What do you want, not only yourself, it's not about the question of are we better off than we were like 40 years ago. It's what can we do now to be better and do better for everyone equally, fairly, and do what we got to do. And if we can do it, then let's do it. If we can't, then we fail as a country, as humans. We need to work together. We need to come together as a country, not divided, but united. And this country, I will be honest, yes, it's divided because we have the libtards out there beating their chests like they're fucking King Kong and all that in a bag of chips. Yes, you got some people on the right beating their chests, acting like they're all that in a bag of chips. That's not what's going to be productive. It's anti-productive. I just think that both sides should do what they need to do by trying to help each other. And me doing what I've done by being a journalist, going through courses, learning what other journalists have done or said or are not saying, I realized, okay, maybe there needs to be a more different voice or a different way of showing things so that people can be more enlightened and understand it differently. Not just sit here and name call, but show, okay, here's why I think this side is wrong for what they are saying. Okay, this is why the left are saying we're wrong here. We have to look at it from an angle of what are we doing? What do we want?
This is what I told you. MAGA doesn't care about our military. He's a
Okay, this guy wants to claim that MAGA doesn't care about the military. Well, I do. I do care about the military. I think our military is very important. Whether you have served or you are still in the military, that's important to all of us because you took an oath that not a lot of people will take to protect and defend and serve the United States, foreign and domestic situations, and you will do it. So help you God. As your oath, that is your job. And those people in the military have sacrificed their comfort of being able to sit at home out there fighting for us, which God bless them for doing such. I think that's a great achievement. We should be proud of them for doing such thing. And we need to. We need to be thankful that these military people are doing their job. Because if we didn't have the military, we'd be fucked. We would have been gone a long time ago. So, because we have the military and the funds to fund the military correctly, I think we should fund the military correctly and support them. And when they come home, yes, get them off the streets. Military people should not be homeless, in my opinion. They should get help, just like anyone else, just like alcoholics or drug users or whatever. They should get help. They should have the right to come home to their families and not be silenced by people, whether you're on the left or right, but voice their opinions equally, just as much as you and I can, and do such, and have that right and liberty to do such. because they earned it, in my opinion. They damn well earned that right. More than me and you have. If you haven't served in the military, you wouldn't understand what they go through. You wouldn't understand because what they've gone through is hell. But you know what? They look at it as it's just a job. But to us, to somebody like me that looks at them and says, no, it's not a job. You did something, you sacrificed something, your livelihood for my freedom. That constitutes you having even more rights to speak up on your opinions. I haven't served, but I have family members who have served in the Army, the Navy, the Marines.
Veteran, they can give a shit less. Just the fact that how dare he?
You're right. I don't say that I served because I didn't serve, but I support those who served. That's even more important. Just because I haven't served doesn't mean I shouldn't support them. Even though some militaries will disagree with my position in thinking, I still think that they earned that right.
Speak up against MAGA and DJT, because if he does,
Well, I have a right to say what I feel. So if you don't like it, then you can leave.
they're gonna make
Because I have family members who have served and have seen service.
sure he's
In
gonna
the
be
Army,
missing more teeth.
the Navy.
Who cares about his service? That's what MAGA thinks.
No, so really truthfully, what MAGA is about with the military, a lot of people aren't going to understand this because I'm sure a lot of people have family members or some people out there have served. Even MAGA family have, like me, have had people that have served our country. And we respect that a lot. We understand that their sacrifice and what they have done for us should not ever go in vain. It should never be dismissed. It should never be something that should be silenced. They should never be forgotten. They should always be remembered for what they have done. They are people who have served our country and have dealt with shit and seen shit, some of them, that they can't talk about. And it really sticks with them until the bitter end. And it hurts. And you can see some of their pain. You can hear in their voice the pain and agony that they have. But they carry that with them because when they first get off that bus and go right into BT, basic training, they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. They know exactly that this is what the sacrifice comes to. They have to sacrifice not only the comfort of not wanting to deal with it if they choose to, but they chose to because of our freedom and our rights, and they believe what they were doing was correct. And I believe it is correct for them to do because they made that choice. If they were old enough to sign that paper and say, I'm going to go serve, then they have a right to speak.
Now, I don't want Stink Nation to get this twisted of how the stink feels about the bearded.
Charles Whitman, okay, he was a Marine. He served our country. Great. That's a great thing for him. I'm happy and thankful he served our country in Semper fucking Fi. He deserves respect. He deserves that respect because of what he did, his sacrifice. He's probably seen his fellow brothers and sisters die on the field. That's very hard to imagine waking up every day with that image going through your head of seeing your fellow brothers and sisters in arms dying beside you in war, in combat. That is hell. That is something I don't think a lot of us could deal with.
Traveling veteran.
Some people could.
Now, I'm happy he's coming to see the light, but
And that's good that you've celebrated the 4th. But you also got to remember that the 4th isn't just about America being 250 years old, but the sacrifices that were made to keep America the way that we are today.
this dude has a lot of work to do to sit at our table. Now I got a treat for you. A little treat. A stink treat.
He deserves respect for serving our country. If he did something wrong, then that's on him. Yes, he should be punished if he did something wrong. But if he didn't do anything wrong and he's just somebody that disagrees with MAGA, okay, whatever. I don't have a problem with it.
For my stink nation, let's watch some of the MAGA now that have traveled hundreds and hundreds of miles to come protest at Dearborn against the Muslims. Let's watch.
Okay, now this is a different guy. Cameraman's interviewing a different guy. Let's listen.
Pretty good. How about yourself? Not too bad, not too bad. What brought you out this evening? Oh, man, we're here to stand with people in Dearborn.
He's coming out, protesting peacefully with the people in Dearborn. Not anything bad, not breaking any legality issues or going into any legality issues. He's just trying to be here peacefully. Okay.
My fellow Christian, my fellow
Just wanting to go out there, supporting fellow Christians and fellow Americans. Hats off to the guy.
Americans. And what's going on here just ain't right. Support the Constitution.
Okay, so if he did that, then sure, he's a bad person. Yes, he served our country, but do you understand? Maybe, yes, I see that he is a bad person for doing what he allegedly did and what you're allegedly claiming he did, but he still served our country. Yeah, he's not a good person. I mean, like in the way, as in mentally there. He's not a good person for what he did, but he served our country, which I understand that can cause a lot of issues mentally.
Absolutely. First Amendment, freedom of speech. First Amendment, absolutely. Oh, how far did you go? About 600 miles. Wow, dude. Appreciate you coming out.
So we got Diabito here. He's come out 600 miles.
I appreciate you, Zen. Thank you. Now, this guy just called the big guy Diabetes. To me, that's degrading people that are allegedly diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's pretty nasty to say. I disagree with it. I don't think that's right to say. But also in the same way, that's kind of body shaming. You're body shaming somebody, which, okay, there are people that are fat because they eat too much McDonald's or fast food. But don't body shame somebody. Don't make fun of somebody and call them diabetes because they're big, they're fluffy or plumpy. That's just degrading and demoralizing and really it's humiliating in general.
Let me make a little suggestion to you in the way that I'm looking at you. Maybe, just maybe, you should have walked.
Okay, telling the guy that he should have walked, again, that's pretty much you making fun of somebody because they're a little plumpy. That's wrong. That's just wrong, outright inhumane. That's just basically you humiliating that person. But at the same time, you got to understand that people make choices whether to eat healthy or not eat healthy. They make those choices. Just like, you know, people allege that Trump eats a lot of McDonald's and drinks a lot of Diet Coke. Okay, that's on Trump. He chooses to do those things if that is what he chooses to do. So what? I mean, there are people that do that because they don't want to cook or don't know how to cook, and they just think that fast food is a lot better and it's fast and easy for them. I can see that. Can we say it's healthy? No, it's not the best option. Eating vegetables and having protein in a um, way that is better for you, yes, is way much more beneficial to your body and your health, and definitely detrimental for you. And it's important for you or anyone to have that. But to body shame somebody, that's a little disgraceful
You see,
and distasteful.
it's not the scary Muslims that are gonna hurt you. No, it's your cholesterol. Your cholesterol
Clumpy
is
and plump are kind of basically the same thing, but
what's gonna
it's how
get
you
you.
use it. It depends on, are you using it to describe something or to describe something in a way that's kind of weaponizing it
Now hear this
or making fun of somebody
think
for it.
out, bud. Hear me out. Just maybe. Instead of the scary Muslims, you should be more worried.
He didn't say anything about Muslims from what I could hear. So this guy that's reacting to this video is making alleged claims that we don't know why we already heard why he's there. He just said that he's there to peacefully protest with his brothers and sisters in Christ and exercise his First Amendment, his constitutionally protected right amendment to go out there and do such activity. That's it. And then this guy's sitting here calling him diabetes, saying that he should walk. That's a little facetious, if you ask me.
About a colonoscopy. That's what I.
So this guy's more concerned with the dude that's a little bit plumpy health than his own health. See, this is where I'm gonna get into this argument of, instead of you body shaming somebody and worrying about their health because they make their own choices, why don't you consider your own choices? Like, if you're so worried about a colonoscopy, why don't you set one up for yourself? Why don't you do that? Worry about your own business. Stay in your own goddamn lane. Mind your own damn business. Don't be picking on people just because you want to pick on somebody and be facetious with malicious intent. That's, again, not going to prove any points, and that's going to make people not want to listen to you. It's going to make people dislike you. It's going to make people not want to listen to you or agree with you, but it shows that obviously you are not only trying to be malicious with facetious intent, but you're doing it in a way that you're trying to make a joke out of it, which is not funny. It's in poor taste. And what if somebody did that to you? Yeah, I know I'm a little plumpy. I know I'm a little big. I'm a little bit out of shape. I should go to the gym. I know that. Do I do it? No, but that's my own choice. Now, my body is going to either have repercussions because of it or it's not. It's my business, nobody else's. we shouldn't body shame people. That's just my thought.
I think you should call your doctor and schedule a colonoscopy. First it was the African Americans. Then
When these people talk about the African Americans, they always are quick to mention them because they would rather have a conversation about it in a way that's degrading and demoralizing them instead of having a productive conversation about what is going on in that community that needs to be fixed, like to stop black on black crime, how to deal with things. They're just all about being virtuous and trying to pretend that they're about worrying about these certain communities and certain demographics instead of actually fix it. That's what the left always loves to do. I wouldn't say that like it's a bad thing to have a conversation about them, but it needs to be more productive, in my opinion, because transparency is needed in the conversation. But trying to be not as transparent as the left are isn't going to be a saving grace for you.
it was the
Just like making fat jokes. I mean, sure, I can make fat jokes about myself.
Japanese. Then it was the Muslims.
No, white people did not invert their own language, my dude. Do some
Then
research.
it was the trans. And guess what, Gop?
Oh, yeah, and then the left always claim that they're for the trans community. But when you see certain alleged trans communities act in a certain way or doing certain things that they should not be allegedly acting or doing, the left are very quick not to call that shit out, but to hide it, sweep it under the rug, and pretend none of it happened. Zero of that happened because they don't want to acknowledge what's going on with that community. That community was allegedly hijacked by the left. And why do you think that they're really quick to say, oh, the conservatives are anti-trans? Well, because we're not anti-trans, but we have a problem with trans men that are pretending, dressing up again like they're trick-or-treating, pretending they're women, going into women's bathroom when that's not really their gender. We have these problems with these people doing things because it's an issue, and an issue we don't want in everyday lives. We don't want to worry about our children going into the bathroom and wondering if that trans person may or may not do something to that child. We don't want to feel insecure about it. But we want to protect everyone, not just the children, but everyone. But at the same time, we understand that trans people are people just like all of us. Like, they're humans. Yes, they think differently. Yes, they have a different feeling than us. Yes, I'm tired of the trans community doing things, allegedly acting a certain way also as well, that they shouldn't be doing, and not being held accountable for that. They need to be held accountable. Just like, again, everyone else. Everyone is on the same level on the playing field. We are all equal. There should be no hate, but truth spoken when truth needs to be spoken. That's why you see a lot of conservatives and OAN talking about these issues because they're bringing it up because they have seen these issues being continuously purported.
Guys, they're back to the Muslims to be scared of. That's right. Just another distraction from what is actually going on in our country.
So, the devil, first of all, racism is a word that has been used a lot and that has been projected towards people. It doesn't have the same meaning. So, you might want to think about that before you speak again on that.
In these momos, they take it every time.
No, not the accountability of feeling pretty, but the accountability that men that are trans should not be going into women's bathrooms. Period.
Hook, line, and sinker because they're not that smart. Guys, tell me what you think about this in the comment.
So there's a lot of issues that are happening, like black on black crime, certain, other issues too, like the LGBTQIA community having their own issues. It's not that us conservatives are against them. We aren't. But we're just trying to make things right for people so that things are not happening the way that the left are doing and trying to not portray the truth as what it really is. We're trying to be more transparent. Transparency is not a delusion, it's reality. When you are transparent and you are being honest and truthful about what's going on, people will understand you more. Because you need transparency. Because transparency is important to all of us, to everyone. And when people can't be transparent, then that's when lies start getting spread the most.
No matter where.
And we can't have lies being spread. We have to be truthful with each other. I mean, I've done that before. I've volunteered for the community. Yeah, it still exists. But we need to understand that they can't just willy-nilly do whatever they want. Just like anyone else can't. We cannot do what we want.
Tonight, say that I heard Chuck Schumer tonight say that he thinks that based on the new polling, the Democrats are going to win the Senate.
Okay, Chuck Schumer. First of all and foremost, we know Chuck Schumer, obviously, is a Democrat. He's going to say a lot of things, but does he really mean it? Or is he just spewing out leftist talking points?
Now, when I heard that, I knew that Chuck Schumer didn't give two craps about any of us.
Why does the black community need me to pay attention or validate something that is an issue within their own community? We expose it by talking about it, but why should I be held responsible or liable for what's going on?
He didn't. He was concerned about staying in power, not making our lives better. Mike Johnson sure doesn't give a crap about us people. Donald Trump doesn't care about anything except being a fascist white supremacist. We are getting screwed by this system. We are told that we have to go and bust our ass, work 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week.
Called having a job, being an adult, having working 9 to 10 hours or 8 to 10, whatever, called being an adult. Something that obviously the progressives don't know how to do or act.
You got to have 2, 3, 4 jobs. Pick your.
Not always, but some people choose to. Some people choose to do certain things.
Self up by the bootstraps.
Sure.
Even when we do that, we can't pay our damn bills.
It's called being an adult. You got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. It's adulting. Some people like it or are okay with it and accept it, even though they may not like it, but they accept that that's the right responsibility and choose to do it. Others choose not to.
35% of Americans are putting their groceries on their credit card right now. 2/3 of this country live paycheck to.
Yeah, kind of like how some people choose Jif peanut butter over other brands of peanut butter, I guess.
Paycheck. We have
If that's what
14
you think, you know.
million kids going to school hungry.
I don't know if that number is exaggerated or true, but
800,000 homeless people. Look,
there is a lot of homeless people that are out there, but some of them choose not to have help. You got to remember that. No, I have not got the Trump sneakers because it, to me, is just stupid. It doesn't make sense. Why should I buy them? I don't wear sneakers. I wear my Georgia boots.
they're human beings. Let's treat them like that. We got 40,000 people that die from gun violence every year.
But does that also include the black community against their own people? There again, black on black gun violence. The left only predominantly like to talk about how allegedly the white people are the most guilty for this gun violence, alleged gun violence. But they don't talk about the black on black violence against their own race. It's a conversation the left will never ever seem to understand or want to have that conversation.
We spend $1 trillion on the damn military, which hasn't been audited.
Yeah, we spend money on the military because that's what we need. We need the military. The left don't want the military. Think about that. Think about how scary that is.
And God knows how long, and we're spending billions of dollars in Iran.
I don't agree with the Iran war. I don't. I'm against it. But then again, when it comes down to some of the things Trump does, some things I agree with him on. Some things I don't. The Iran war was one that I did not agree with Trump on.
Because the rapist president doesn't want the.
The left love to allege Trump as a alleged rapist, but we all know that there is zero to little proof that they show of that.
Also know that he's a pedophile in the Epstein files.
Just for curiosity, does the left ever talk about anything that allegedly happens that's pedophile-ish in their own community? No. But they sure are very quick to point and blame people that are oppositions of them and call them that when they should start looking in their own community.
While he's spending millions of dollars on the reflecting pole and millions of dollars on his golden arches and hosting a UFC fight.
That's funny because I don't watch NASCAR.
The white lawn.
I haven't watched NASCAR for a long time.
And golfing on his fat ass, spending millions and millions and millions of dollars of our taxpayers while we're suffering. You have.
Actually, no, I'm not. I have a job.
Basically gone full fat.
I've been working today.
Just white supremacists make him.
So this whole white supremacist fascist ideology that they talk of, it's buzzwords that we know very all too well, that they love to use because they, again, don't know what fascism means. They don't know what fascism is, even though the left are predominantly fascist. They have the fascist ideologies. They love fascism. They love socialism. But they want to blame people again because it's sweep it under the rug and we don't talk about that shit here kind of thing that they do.
America White again that has no solutions except
Actually, I am a journalist, but that's your opinion.
scare the stupid 16th white trash MAGA people, right?
The 16th insult. Again, very childish. And it shows, again, obviously, we all know where these talking points come from. The media, the Democrats, the left. They're indoctrinated. This is why it's sick. Because when both sides or one side starts throwing names and shit out there, you start losing the argument. That's when you know you're losing. The left have already known that they've lost a long time ago. They just can't accept it.
Radical left, Antifa, Marxism,
I do, but it's my business. I don't have to show you shit.
socialism, jihadist, all of the bullshit. And you got the Democrats
I appreciate you, Zen.
sit around with the thumbs up their ass like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries.
How many times do you think that the Democrats don't really vote for the best interest of we the people all the time? But conservatives, how often do you think they vote for the best interest of we the people? A lot more. Because we know that they predominantly, conservatives like me, I align with the Constitution and we the people. And that's where it should be. Not we should just do away with the Constitution and capitalism and everything that they want to do away with.
Saying there's nothing we can do even though we make $200,000 a year. Just give me $10, Paul. Cindy, give me $5. Can you just chip in $8? I swear, in 6 months, if you give me $20 million, I promise I might do something for your life.
It's funny that the Democrats always try to get people to chip in money when they don't even tell you where that money's going. But most of the Republicans, we already know, like conservatives and good, true Republicans, we already know where that money's going to go. The Democrats are just zealous of people.
You know what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. The Democrats probably will win the Congress, maybe the Senate, and then the man in the White House is going to yell and scream and say it was fake and say it was rigged. The Department of Justice is going to come down.
I love how they always again claim that the election was not rigged or fake. Again, this is what we expect from them.
They're going to put ICE agents in the voting booths, and he's going to put thousands and thousands and thousands of...
Why not have ICE agents at the voting booth? Why not? I mean, at this point, it's going to help. It's going to help people that are illegally here from voting because they are illegal. They're not United States citizens. So we obviously know, again, where the Democrats stand. They just want people to vote in their interest of democracy. It's not for we the people. What's the best interest for people that are coming here legally?
Lawsuits, and every single one of them is going to go to court. And for the next 2 years, our lives are going to be shit. Because these two children, the Democrats and Republicans, no, you're dumb, no, I'm dumb, no, you're dumb, no, you're dumb. While we get screwed.
I heard about that case, but not much about it. That's why I'm not aware of a lot of things about Charlie Whitman.
is being used
It doesn't mean I'm not a journalist. It just means I haven't had time to look into that case because I have other things I'm doing.
by a bunch of goddamn toddlers right now. That's why this country is pissed off and angry. Now,
Well, what he did was wrong, but again, he served our country. So that doesn't excuse, just because he served our country, it doesn't excuse what he did. He's still a bad person, but yeah, he served our country.
here's the problem, though. For the most part, Democrats see this. They see that we're being screwed by the rich people. Because
It's not just the rich people that the Democrats are being screwed by. It's by their own people and their own admission of guilt for what they have done, but they're not really admitting to guilt. They're just trying to guilt trip everyone else into believing that it's not them.
3 people own 53% of our wealth. But the Republican Party that goes to Klan rallies and has the IQ of an acorn has been convinced that the dirty brown people are taking your jobs, not the rich people. A couple weeks ago,
No, we know that there are people out
I was
there
eating one of those.
that have come here legally and are looking for jobs and that hold jobs. We know that. Fine. If you're here legally, you can have a job. But if you're here illegally, I'm sorry, you gotta go. It's not us blaming every single person that doesn't look white. We're speaking facts. We're talking about the fact that people are here illegally, allegedly doing things that they should not be doing, that causes legality issues, and not only the fact that they're allegedly causing legality issues, but here illegally, which is another legality issue. They don't want to accept that on the left.
Clam chowder bowls. He broke a piece of it off and he threw it over the glass by the beach. 5 of these pigeons were fighting over it. That's exactly what our politicians are doing to us right now. Here you go. The Republicans say, I'll give you a bigger piece
No,
of
I
the bread
haven't
bowl. The
yet seen
Democrats,
them.
oh, no. I'll give you a bigger piece of the bread bowl. Why should we be fighting over crumbs? Why do we have to settle for breadcrumbs? Because that's what's happening. We're fighting over less wealth, less.
I use the word allegedly because of being very careful how we put it here, because we can get technical, which I do get very technical here, but still there's a line of legal issues that we do not cross over here.
Well,
And we cannot
1%
cross.
of the damn population, mainly rich white men, are taking all of our wealth, telling us where to shop, when you can buy a house, when you can die.
No, that's socialism. Socialism tells you all that, not conservatives or Republicans. Again, that's the confusion that most lefties do get confused, is the difference between what are conservative real Republicans saying and what they are saying in the whole.
When you cannot die. That's what they're doing. We're being screwed. You have to start voting for a third party. This has
Socialism, well, if you want to define socialism, socialism is basically where people rely on the government, not we, the people, making decisions based on our own good and interests. It's we see that the socialists think more about what the government can do for us, which is zero to little to nothing.
stopped. When I hear the lesser of two evils argument, I understand it. I got it. I truly do.
Do you get it, Paul?
But both systems are broken.
I mean, if both sides are if two sides are broke, then what would you recommend? And that's again where we already know what the progressives are going to recommend: socialistic ideologies. They want people to trust the government, and the government basically saying what they can and cannot do and regulate rules and restrictions, which would ultimately delete the Constitution, which is against the Constitution in general. And they want, instead of a capitalistic ideology, even though they are still capitalistic, or they claim they're not capitalistic, but most socialists are capitalistic when they're here because they have to, because that's how our system is. It's never been any different. They want capitalism to be done away with. No, that's not how it works. You got to make money to spend money. They want control of like small markets. They want small businesses to be socialistic. That ain't going to work. That's going to hurt businesses more. That's more control. We don't want the government to control everything 100%. We have a constitution for a reason, and it's put in place so that we, the people, can vote in our best interest in what we think is right, whether or not we may agree with the Democrats or the Republicans, whatever side you stand with. It's there for that reason, so that it's equal and the government does not have full control. If the government has full control, then that's bad. Because if we vote in a party that, let's say, all Democratic, if all Democrats get control, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to do exactly what they want, when they want, and how they want it. There's nobody's going to have a say. Nobody's allowed to disagree with them. They basically have to suck it up and deal with it, which is wrong. So that's what is the problem here with socialism, is that people don't understand that it kills more people than help people. It ruins people's lives than help people. It has never done anything. Reagan, when he was in office, he talked about this. He mentioned that liberalism will come in the form of socialism. Basically, liberalism is kind of a form of socialism, if you think about it. They're not thinking about the best interest of we the people. They're thinking about how can they get more money, spend more money, taxpayers' monies where it shouldn't be going to, and how to screw people out of things more than help people. That doesn't, to me, sound like a political ideology I would stand behind.
This is why we get Chuck Schumer's and Mike Johnson's and Hakeem Jeffries. The lesser of two evils, it's still shit. You might have less dog shit or more dog shit, it's still shit. Because that's what we're getting. You want to keep voting that way, to go ahead. But be honest. Don't blame Hakeem Jeffries if you keep putting him back in office.
I think we should put blame where blame belongs to. It's the people that vote those kind of people in, like Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrats. Those are the people that obviously we know don't care. They have zero to little understanding about how really our system works, what our system is about. They don't understand that. People like Hakeem Jeffries is only there to be virtuous. He's only there to pretend. He doesn't do anything for the Democrat Party. Now, when it comes to what can we do, not vote them in. Exactly what we should not be doing, allowing these people to have that control and that ample amount of control. Because if we allow them to have that much control, we know what's going to happen.
Because you wanted the lesser of two evils. Don't blame Chuck Schumer if you keep putting him in office. Don't blame Trump, even though he's a dumbass, because you voted him back in office. You knew what he was.
1776, the day that the United States was formed. And our forefathers created our great nation.
Don't blame Mike Johnson.
We need to remember 1776.
Put him back in office. You knew who he was. You
That's a day that's very important for all of us.
For the lesser of two evils. There has to be a point where citizens of this country,
Lincoln, yeah, it was sad Lincoln was shot. He was a good man.
Americans, stop bitching about the politicians that you put in power. You chose not to break the two-party system. That's a choice.
Now, again, we know what they want. They want to do away with the two-party system because, again, they want what they want. They don't want law and order. They don't want people to have the rights that we have. If the socialistic progressives were allowed full board control, they would literally outright try to silence anyone that opposed against them. They would silence not only people that would oppose them, but would want to vote differently than they do. When that happens, that no longer becomes an America that we know. It becomes a democracy that we don't need or want. And that's a democracy that is very dangerous. That's going on a very fine line of between socialistic and communistic and anti-American people. And that's not what the American people are about.
Isn't insanity doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result?
We do, Devil. Actually, we allow people to call in our show, but nobody does. So we do shows either Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Call in. Go to conservativenewswave.com. If you want your voice to be heard, call in next time. We always allow people to call into the show. We don't not allow them to call in. It's just we don't allow rude people to call in.
Both parties are two wings of the same bird, two sides of the same coin. We are being screwed by all of them.
Not really. It's one side that's trying to screw people more than the other side. We already see that. Yeah, call in if you're going to be nice, but if you're not, then we're just going to hang up on you. You got to be nice and ask actual legit questions, just like you guys are allowed to do here. If you guys are being nice, I'll let you stay. But if you're being an ass, you can get fucked. Just a simple thing. We're not going to deal with ignorance and people that are going to be rude and presumptuous and facetious.
This system, or burn it to the ground and rebuild it, because that's what the Constitution says. This is not going to change. And if we don't change it soon, we're going to have not just 5 pigeons fighting over breadcrumb, you're going to have 10.
The metaphorical pigeon fighting over breadcrumbs, that's obviously something very new that it's just pointless. I don't understand why they try to make that whole argument about that, but I guess in my opinion, I see somewhat of where he's trying to go with it, but it's not the analogy I would have gone with.
20 and 30. And we're going to be fighting just like Gary, Indiana right now.
You guys can go on the website, conservativenewswave.com. You can look, see the phone number. It's there. When we do our show next time, call in. We'll take a call. But if you're rude or you're an ass or you're just trolling, we're going to hang up on you. That's just how it works.
They've been out of power for 10 damn days. People are there with candles. You know what they're doing?
Yeah, people get blocked for being or saying things that are rude. Don't like it? You can go.
They're robbing
Tough cookies.
people for
My
food.
life, not yours.
They're
You don't
breaking into
control my
people's homes
life.
and stealing their generator. That's what's going to happen if we don't change
I haven't created one yet.
this
I'm thinking about it, but
broken
haven't
system
yet.
and make it work. Because I am sick and tired of my taxes going to
I'm not assuming. I'm just saying straight out facts.
bullshit in the government.
Well, the government, do you always think that the government, again, has the best interest for us? Not always, but there are some government officials that do have the best interest for us. We can see and hear just by what they're saying, whether they're truthfully saying to us, hey, we're being transparent and honest with you, or nah, we're just lying to get your votes and make you believe all the mumbo jumbo bullshit we're saying to you. We're not stupid. We know exactly what our government says and some of their intentions. Some of their intentions are not the best.
All of this mysterious spending that nobody knows where it goes. It's not brown people, it's the immigrants.
Yeah, because again, we know that it comes to, hey, if you're going to be a politician, yeah, you got to have thick skin. If you're going to be a political tier 2 freelance journalist, you got to have thick skin. But you can't just sit there and blame every single fucking person or every white person for something that happened 150 years to 250 years ago. That's not how it works. We've moved on from the old times and we're moving on to now. What do we do now? And that's a question that the left or the progressives and the Democrats will never ask. What do we do now to be better? If we want to be better, maybe we shouldn't fight against each other, but work with each other. Just a thought process.
It's not the Muslims. It's not transgender athletes. It's rich white people. Have a good day.
Dear Grandma, we've moved to the country.
So this is an issue that people will bring up a lot is, well, who's at fault? The black community is at fault for black on black crime that commit it or allow it. But at the same time, it's being addressed, it's being talked about, and the left don't want to address it or acknowledge it. And no, it's not that person that is producing our show. It's Conservative Newswave.
Person, it must be hard.
Pointed RFK Jr. how the measles cases are doing in this country.
This guy's the same guy that we've listened to is now reacting to whatever news source that he's reacting to. I don't know which one. Maybe Fox News or something. I don't know. But they're talking about the measles outbreaks, which has been a pandemic, or not a pandemic, but a issue. And I guess we're gonna have to see where it goes.
This is somebody who the Democrats, we had no.
No, I don't need a chalkboard, but thank you anyway.
Not bearing on
I appreciate that.
our measles cases doing right now.
Well, maybe we should talk about where the measles cases are coming from.
Okay, good point. Let's talk about where the measles cases are legitimately coming from. Where are they coming from? Abroad, different countries that have alleged measles outbreaks.
Coming from communities that came over the border who are not vaccinated. So we can talk about that.
It's always brown people's fault.
Jim,
Brian Tyler Cohen is right. It's always the brown people.
No, we're not blaming the brown people. Again, that's where people are actually getting it wrong. Why do we say certain things? Because, people are either going to be, again, transparent or honest about it. I'm not going to just sit here and say the left are the only alleged media that creates the biggest bullshit lies. It's the right too sometimes. The right side can also do a lot of propaganda and narrative spinning. But if you do research and you look into where the measles outbreaks are coming from, you'll find it. Obviously, it's going to be reported from different sources. Some sources will say one thing, other sources will say another. You do research, you just break it down to where it's easy for you to understand and it's not too complex or difficult for you to think about. You just do what you got to do to figure it out, and then you'll see.
Over the next few months until the
No, I did not get vaxxed.
you're going to see so much bigotry.
Exactly. The government is using a lot of the media to create and perpetuate these lies because that's what allegedly our government is trying to do. Certain government officials are trying to create that. It's a diverse tactic.
Anti-Semitism, white supremacy.
Okay, anti-Semitism. We weren't talking about the Jews, so there's nothing anti-Semitic here that has been said, and nothing is white supremacist that was said. It was just their version of what they were either allegedly told to say or alleged narratives that were being spun for a particular reason. This is how stupid you can tell the left really are for thinking this.
White grievance.
And then there we go with the anti-whiteism, which is reverse racism, as obvious enough. You see that this is how bad these people can get. And that's cool that you're doing something. You're helping the community. That's great. I applaud you for doing it if you are really doing it.
White fear mongering.
No. Let's cut that bullshit out real quick because obviously we know one thing to be true, that the left always love to start using anti-whiteism, reverse racism talking points. This is what happens when you start listening to these idiots more and more and more and more. You start getting more into being part of the machine. You're just feeding into what they want you to think. That's again where people need to stop doing that. Do your own research. Find your own ground of what you believe in, whether it holds true to the left or the right side of politics. It's okay if you disagree, but it's not okay to start being racist towards white people or anyone.
White replacement theory.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things we could do for people that are on that type of stuff, but it's only do they choose to want to have help. We can't force them. We can't force people to do things just because we don't like what they're doing. Yes, it may be allegedly hurting the community, but they have to decide if they want help. They shouldn't be allowed to go out in public and do it publicly, in my opinion, because that kind of stuff is not okay. And especially if they're near people like not only children, but pregnant women and people that are not wanting to either smell it or be associated with it.
You're going to think that you're living in a different time. You will.
You mean Rosie O'Donnell? Jesus, honestly, Rosie O'Donnell she has her public figure platform that listens to her, believes in what she says. I don't agree with a lot of things she says. I think she's a very vile human being. I don't agree or think that what some of the stuff she allegedly said about Trump, it should be tolerated. But again, she has freedom of speech.
Because we're going back to chattel slavery time. This is what black people have experienced on a very, very small scale.
Not anymore. Maybe a long time ago, but not anymore. That's kind of, again, obvious. It's contrary to beliefs that blacks right now are experiencing racism at a predominantly high rate. It's contradiction. It doesn't exist. Maybe racism towards each other, but not from the white community or maybe other communities, but maybe from each other.
You're just now looking into a keyhole of people that don't look like me or talk.
Again, he's doing a very small, objective point out of something that's virtuous, that we all know what he's doing and saying.
Like me or sound like me have experienced for 400 damn years.
I would not know, because that if that is allegedly true, then that is hate and something that nobody should be dealing with or doing at all.
And you know why it's been 400 years? Because there's not enough people that look like me that are willing to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, trying to tell white people that we need to just shut up and buckle up and deal with it. Yeah, okay. No. It's not a white person problem. It's an everybody's problem. Everybody needs to find a solution. Everybody's trying to find a solution. But here, again, what are we having problems with? The left. The left are never willing to work with solving or trying to figure out how to solve the problem correctly. Why? Because they're racist. They're the ones that don't want to solve problems. They're the ones that are the biggest issues. But they want to blame everyone else and tell everyone else, hey, you people need to solve the problem, when it's we all have to deal with it and we all have to figure it out. It's a we problem. Because the we problem here needs to be that, can we deal with it and can we figure out how to make this problem go away? If we can't figure out how to make this problem go away, then what are we doing? We're failing. We can't fail as a country. We need to do better to help our country. Our country does not rely on just one group of set of demographics doing all the heavy lifting and all the hard work. It's got to be everyone as a collective. A collective of we the people need to put in the heavy lifting to solve problems. But again, the left don't want to do that. They just want to be part of the problem. They don't want to be part of the solution. And what they think is a solution, which is not a solution, it's going to be more problematic later, or does cause current problems.
You ever seen a weed? You ever get like one of those hoes, you can kind of like just scrape the surface and you take the weed off, and then about a week later it grows back?
I still have the flag.
People have done.
It's just right now hanging up. I washed it.
You've done just enough so you don't have to look at it. The bare minimum. And when it grows back, you just take the top off again.
The weed metaphor, obviously, we can say it's for both sides. Both sides need to get their hands dirty and stop being afraid. Really, I think both sides are kind of afraid of whatever it is that they're allegedly afraid of. Whether it's hurting each other's feelings or not being heard. We need to stop just trying to overtalk with each other and overlap each other and just come in as a collective and work together and find a way where we can all make progress, because you can't make an omelet without cracking an egg. You have to crack the egg to make the omelet. That's how it works in the real world. You got to work together as a team.
Because you're not willing to get down on your hands and knees, put on a pair of gloves, dig a hole, and grab it by the roots and yank it out.
I'm not actually anti-Jesus. I never said I was. So you're alleging something that I didn't say. See, that just right there shows you exactly what I am talking about.
You don't
The idiocracy
want
and
to
the hypocrisy.
be uncomfortable. Every white person.
Well, what's up, Daniel? I think honestly, it's everybody that chooses to be lazy. Some people choose to go to work. Some people choose not to go to work. Some people have different occupations. But when you go to work, you're all working together to get things done. And so you can go home and be with your family, wake up and do it again. Just the same way as we should all do the same thing with this country. Try to at least work together. Build this country together, not where it's just, we're going to blame every single fucking person, and especially one certain demographic, for something that happened 150 to 250 fucking years ago that now doesn't exist. It's stupid.
In this country, it sits on their lazy, privileged asses.
The white privilege talking point. Yes, that thing that doesn't exist, white privilege. It never existed, because black people have the same fucking rights and the same abilities that anyone else has. They're not underachievers or overachievers. They're just like everyone else. They should be treated just like everyone else. Nobody has privilege. It's just the privilege of being an American, yes, for those immigrants that come here, but white privilege doesn't exist. It's a fake narrative that is being pushed for middle-aged white socialistic progressive ideology talking points and buzzwords being thrown out there, because these people want to blame or start thinking that they have privilege, which they don't, because black people are somehow being forced into alleged silence, which they're not being forced into alleged silence. Black people have the same voice and the same opportunities that anyone else does. It doesn't exist. Show me one black person that does not have the same equal opportunities. Every person in America has the same equal opportunities. We are all equal. You can go to the same college that anyone else goes to. You can go to the same bank that anyone else goes to, the same gas station, the same job, the same school, whatever. You name it, black people can do it. They can achieve just as much as anyone else. There's no differences here. Because what the whole issue here is that, again, they use that to push anti-whiteism and hate towards white people, because white people are supposedly the guilty people, which is not true. We're not guilty of shit, other than we're just trying to live our lives without being blamed for every fucking thing under the sun that these idiots want to blame us for. Why can't these people understand that? Well, they don't understand it because what they love to do is constantly belittle people as much as possible, bully people, and be narcissists, push people into believing the bull crap that they believe because they think that the bull crap that they believe is true when it's not. And it's obvious. We know that it's not something that they should do by bullying people into that position, but they do it anyway because it's virtuous. It's what they think will give them little brownie points and little pats on the back by their higher uppers.
It doesn't speak out because it doesn't affect you. You're no different than MAGA. If you see somebody drowning in a pool, oh, I'd love to help you, but I don't want to get wet.
Everybody has to, some point in life, grow up. This is the thing that these lefts will never realize, is that it's called adulting. Being an adult, taking care of your family, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Instead of blaming other people for your stupid decisions based off of whatever you feel like the media tells you to believe or perpetuates towards you, you could have a good life, go out there and achieve any fucking thing you want. But they choose to just continuously belittle people because they're narcissists. They don't understand that people are going to get tired of it. People are going to start waking up and realizing, yeah, okay, the more you blame us or people like us, the more you're just absolutely going to sound like a complete yo-yo and you're a train wreck. You're no better than the politicians spewing the bull crap or the media spewing the bull crap.
I have my good clothes on. That's exactly what you're doing. Because that's the problem. Donald Trump is not the problem with America. He is a symptom of the moral rot that white people have ignored.
Again, here we go, blaming white people again for an issue that white people should not be blamed for. Let's look at it this way. If this was reversed, instead of him blaming white people and him just blaming everybody, every other race but white people, how do you think people would react to that? They would look at it and think, oh, that's racist. Or that sounds obviously like what it really is. Not just racist, but pretty hateful and demeaning to people. You're just humiliating people by spewing shit that really is crap that the media is telling you to believe. How much of this do you think is obviously going to be better for us sitting here to listen to this shit? Not, because people don't want to listen to people blaming other people. People want to listen to people that have factual information and that have ideas for the general population of America to work together and have a plan and implement the plan for us to make everything better. Instead of just sitting here blaming and lying and being a narcissist. That's bad that you narc on people like that. But this is what, again, we expect the left to do. Be little narcs. No different than toddlers. They act like toddlers. These progressives are, yes, they have the body and the look of an adult, but the mentality and brain capacity of a toddler. We already know that these people on the left do this, and this is what they are. As much as we may hate it, what can we do? Other than try to point out where they are wrong. Where's the deception and lies and deceit and not being very transparent with people are at.
For 400 damn years. And even now, with concentration camps, when over 50 people have died, when women are sexually assaulted, when kids are trying to take their life.
I don't know, Foxy. I mean, I sometimes wonder about that.
With plastic knives. You know what you do to white people? Watch Ted Lasso.
Oh, just because people do not want to go out there and do your little pity party protest with you, and you're sitting here humiliating and being not really rational with people, but telling people it's the white people, you need to admit you're the fucking people at fault for this. What does that sound like to me? A narc. Somebody that is a narcissistic person that obviously watches way too much alleged cartoons or watches way too much CNN for me to even want to hear. That conversation would have been over a long time ago, because no, I know we're not going to have that conversation, because people like this guy and people on the left don't want to acknowledge that it's not a white person's problem, it's a we problem. Again, it's got to be we the collective. What are we going to do? Actually, I can talk about CNN just as long as I'm not doing it in a malicious, facetious way.
Gotta watch
But saying that what they do, calling it out, it's fine.
Spider-Man. Gotta go to a baseball game and eat a hot dog. Go take a walk. Go to the gym, because it doesn't affect you.
Again, pointing and blaming at people, seriously, what are we doing? What good is blaming people that are not at fault for it? No good will come of it, other than it's going to piss people off more, it's going to divide people more, and it's going to show that people obviously are brainwashed. They're indoctrinated because they want to believe it. It's okay to really not have a lot of information about certain things, but sitting there and thinking that the media is always going to have the best interest for you and what they tell you, that's lies that you shouldn't believe. Look at both sides. Like I do. I look at both sides. I try to calculate, okay, the left are saying this because this is what generally, obviously, we know what they're going to shoot for here in their talking points. The right, what are the right saying? Well, okay, the right saying this, but which one's going to have more factual base behind it? Which one's going to prove facts? If they don't both put and hold true to facts, then obviously both sides are at the wrong for this. It's not a white person problem. It's a political problem. It's good versus evil now.
Evil succeeds when good people do nothing. White supremacy succeeds and flourishes.
The whole white supremacist bullshit. When will the left ever learn that it comes to those talking points? It's just stupidity at that point. Like, we already know that the left are allegedly supporting white supremacy. They support alleged racism, misogyny, and hate and bigotry towards people. Even on their own side. Or people that are black, that are conservative or Republican, they call them Uncle Toms. Like, seriously. How much more do you want me to prove to you that the left are racist and intolerant? Because this is exactly what I've said from day one, that they have always and forever will be on the left. Racist, hateful, intolerant. They don't care about anyone but themselves. And as sad as it is. And maybe I pray to God that one day they will wake up and get the head out of the sand to see that their ignorance isn't really necessary. Maybe we can start working together as a whole.
When white people do nothing. That's why we're here. This is a white person problem. And if this country doesn't make it, it's going to be on you, people who look like me. And I'm going to remember every single damn person that shut their mouth and put their heads up their asses.
So you're going to remember all of this, apparently, is what you're claiming to me. Okay, great. So do we care how you feel about us? No. It doesn't make me feel any way at all, other than it just makes me feel like you're proven, obviously, this is exactly what we know from the left, ignorance. They're very hateful and spiteful. They don't care. We need to move away from just being hateful and spiteful and grow up. That's why. That's why we need to move forward as a country and as a nation. But we can't do that because the left don't want to grow up. They don't want to talk about it. The left never want to have that conversation. They don't want to have this conversation because the left are afraid to have this conversation because why? What they want is pure control. If we give them control, we're fucked. How much control do you think they're going to want? A lot. Because they feel entitled. This is what the left are. Very entitled people. It's all about their fake crocodile tears. And how far can they get from it? That's why people like the Young Turks, Midas Touch, MSNBC, ABC, CNN, they do that and say the things they say because it's just crocodile tears. They want to enrage people. They want people to think the same way they want because it's indoctrination. It's only if they can get the ample amount of attention from the people, then they feel pleased in some sort of form and way, but they're not pleased enough. They want more and more and more and more. They're greedy. They're pigs. That's what both sides can be, kind of piggish, if you will. They can be greedy because it's all about greed. How much greed is enough? Well, no greed should be enough. Nobody should be greedy. Nobody should take more than what is given or allowed. But the left, you give them an inch, they want a mile. You give them a mile, they'll take 400 yards and still never be satisfied to this day because they can't ever be satisfied. There just is no way to quench that thirst and stop them from looking at the truth that, hey, we've given as much as we can give and we've allowed as much as we have allowed. At this point, you're kind of being greedy and you need to stop being greedy, but they don't care.
Just did what I did. You know, there was another time in history where this happened, and it involved 7 million Jews in Nazi Germany because it didn't affect them.
And then this is another thing they do. They compare today's society to Nazi Germany. Why? Like, why? That's demoralizing the Jewish community. That right there obviously is telling you something.
Single time. Somebody was picked off. Every single neighbor that saw it happening shut their mouth because it didn't affect them.
But you know what's funny? The left, every time something bad happens, what do? They shut their mouths or they scream louder just to try to get the attention. It's obvious. The loudest one in the room is not going to be the one that's going to get the best attention or the attention that they can get, which is the correct way. But they have to beat their chest so hard to thinking that that's going to get the attention of the minority in the population of the people. But then when they get that attention, they turn around and blame other people, because it's easy to blame people than take the blame for the wrongdoings of their own party. To see that what is happening now is a lot of people are starting to see where they are at mentally and emotionally. The left are mentally not capable of feeling remorse, sympathy, or empathy, or pity, or anything other than just being greedy. Because they don't want to feel that. They just want to beat their chests. And that's all they do. They will never stop beating their chests. And as sad as it is, that's the only thing that we'll be good at doing.
This is why we're here. This is why Donald Trump was elected. Because they didn't want a black woman.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, we didn't want Kamala because she wasn't even qualified to be president. Hell, she wasn't even qualified to fold laundry. I don't even think she has that qualification. Let's be honest. She is not even qualified to do anything. Not even make presidential decisions for us. And this is what the left love to do. It's always got to be, the conservatives, the MAGAs, they don't like Kamala because she's black. No, it has nothing to do with the freaking skin color. It has to do with she's an alleged idiot. She doesn't have any policies that pertain to us, that are beneficial to us. None of it, other than she's taken what exactly Biden allegedly did and some of alleged wordings that Trump was going to run on and tried to use it for her own party. And she got caught trying to do that during the debate with Trump. And Trump's like, hey, I see what you're doing, young lady. Don't do that. She got caught for doing that. It's not because she's black. It's because she was just not a good candidate. But that's all the Democrats had. Because Biden didn't want to go again. Because Biden was a alleged demented, rambling, babbling Yahoo. And he had zero idea what he was doing through day to day. Hell, he was half asleep majority of the time, probably taking naps, unless he had to go out in public and speak in public. And God forbid, if he was out in public, don't allow him around an alleged child, because we know what he would allegedly do. She was an idiot. She was unqualified. She was one of the candidates for the Democrats' only hope for them, that they felt like she would do something, but she didn't. She failed them. She was a failure. Her policies, the way that she held herself, she never held her own party responsible or accountable for what they allegedly had done. Hell, we had Barack Obama. Again, I don't agree with Obama. I dislike Obama because of his policies and his politics and what things he has done that kind of really, obviously, we know what he has allegedly done. Nothing for this country. He had nothing to offer. Same thing with Kamala. She had nothing to offer for us. Trump had a lot more to offer. And he did offer a lot. But sure, one policy, which was no new war, that everybody was like, yeah, we're all great and excited for, kind of turned around and, yeah, that didn't go very well. So, yeah, sure, we're pissed about that. But at the same time, both sides have to be held accountable. Whether or not you like it or not, you have to make sure that you understand it's not about the skin color. It's about which person that you are rooting for or that you want to win for president or whatever has the policy and the best interest of we the people and for people like you as well. So there was nothing there. From Obama to Biden to Kamala to Hillary, the Democrats had nothing to offer. It's not because of misogyny. It's just because they weren't good candidates. And some of them did allegedly get in some legality issues. But we know where we stand as a country.
That's it. You're so stuck on the damn midterms. I don't care who wins. I really, in my heart, I don't give a damn.
There were allegations of that, yes. There was a lot of those allegations that he wasn't born here in America. Now, if it's true or not, I don't know. There's still, to this day, a lot of speculations and allegations of where Obama was born. But let's be clear and frank here. Obama was not the greatest president. He could have done better if he wouldn't have done certain things or made certain alleged stupid judgment calls that were not in the alleged best interest of our country. That was pretty much supposedly more than likely against our country.
In fact, I would rather have the Republicans win.
Now, we know that this guy is just being really facetious and condescending, and he's saying it because we know where he stands.
I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't think that white people in this country...
Nice, again, hating on white people. Obviously, that doesn't give you brownie points. That just makes you, obviously, look bad.
...are willing to get their hands dirty. Well, I say burn the whole thing to the ground. Until you white people, I know what color I am.
Again, this whole white people need to stand up and do this, that, and the other. It's degrading. It's just humiliating. All it is bullshit. It's not needed. It's content grift. And this is why I think a lot of the progressive people are grifters, because they're more intent on blaming people, virtual signaling, this, that, and the other, And it's all just a grift game to them. They think politics is a game. It's not. As much as I say we should play chess, not checkers, I'm not meaning as like we should treat this whole political thing as a game. It's being smart. Like, we need to be smarter about this, not dummied down by the media or the politicians, but pay attention. What is their verbiage? Are they being transparent? Are they telling us the truth? Are they really going to do what they say that they're about, or is it just talk? Because actions speak louder than words. Obviously, we all know that, but they don't. And that's why to them on the left, it's a game. But to us on the conservative Republican side, we don't treat this as a game. This is our livelihoods on the line. And it's balancing, and it needs to be balanced the correct way. That, yes, we can have people that are Democrats in office, but are they going to work with the Republicans or the conservatives or whatever party's in there and try to help the people, we the people, or are they just going to be there to just have an alleged shit show? Is it a circus? We can't, politics isn't a circus where you can just sit there and clap and cheer and go, yay, while you're eating your popcorn. It's serious. People rely on politicians to make the right judgment based off of what they have heard or have allegedly been promised by that politician. We need to make sure that we do what's right for us. If us, we the people as a collective, do not think that these politicians are doing right, what do? Vote these people out. Vote them out. Get rid of them. Put people in that are going to do the right thing as a collective. Not working against each other, trying to badmouth each other. I get that, yes, during debates, it happens all the time. I've even heard Trump, yes, badmouth Hillary and Kamala and Biden. Yes. Do I feel like that's possibly going to work in his favor? It will get a lot of people's attention and start conversations, and it will probably get people, depending on what's being said in context, to maybe realize something. Who knows?
Till you suffer and get a fraction of what it's like to be.
Well, if you're willing to allow people to give you money to vote the way that they want, that again shows how and why people like you should not be allowed to vote, or how gullible you are. That means you don't care. And that's sad.
Black.
All right. White people need to suffer, is what this guy said. Why do white people need to suffer? For what reason? No reason at all. Again, it's just he wants people to suffer. Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. That's what the left are all about. Schadenfreude. It's a German word meaning to take pleasure in suffering from others. The left love to take pleasure in watching other people suffer. That is sick. That is like, to me, you have to be mentally distraughted to be okay with this. Like, you have to not, it's just inhumane to think about this, because these people love to watch other people suffer and then not even take acknowledgement that what they're doing is very sick, twisted, and demented, if you would call it that at all, but not take responsibility because they're allegedly the proprietors or they're the ones perpetuating it the most. That's why. Because they think that it's okay to do what they want when they want because they've never been told no a day in their life. They've probably never been punished or reprimanded by their parents or by anyone. They think that they're just above and beyond the law of any. They're above everyone else. They don't got to follow any legality rules. But we all know, again, we're all on the same playing field. We all have to follow the legality, laws, and rules that are implemented in our country for a reason. Just like it's not okay to drink and drive because you could allegedly hurt not only yourself but other people or allegedly kill somebody because of you being drunk and your judgment is impaired. So if you're drinking, should you be driving? No, that's an obvious. But they, again, don't care who they on the left allegedly hurt. The left do not see it that way. They think, oh, we just had like 2 or 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, we'll be fine, whatever, fuck it. No. Somebody should take your car keys away from you at that point, because damn well you are not going to be able to hold your liquor and be able to drive coherently enough to where you don't allegedly hurt yourself or others or possibly kill somebody because of your being drunk and because you're not able to function normally. Like you're impaired. Because of your impairment, that's going to make you possibly do some irrational things and not think rationally and correctly about things. Don't do that.
Until you feel helpless, me.
I think all of us should help each other, but it shouldn't be about just one group helping one certain community or every other community. It should be everybody's got to, as a collective, work together.
Then you'll give a shit about somebody else. How could you sit by with concentration camps and watch fucking Ted Lasso? It doesn't affect me. There's nothing I can do. I can't go on a general strike.
And this is what they want. They want people to go on general strikes because they want people to be angry about something that really is stupid. It's idiocracy. It's double standards. It's hypocrisy. And what I don't get, it's like, really, are we that blind to see that these people really love to use double standards? And they can't admit that, hey, sometimes there are people out there like me calling people out on both sides of the coin and literally trying to hold both sides accountable. But you're over here trying to say, nobody on our side's accountable, but it's only on that side. And trying to make everyone think that we're stupid enough to believe it. Okay, yeah, that is obviously something we know the left are good at. But what the problem is how much people are starting to see past it now. People are starting to realize more and more what is being perpetuated, whether it's the tier 1 media or whether it's people like this guy. They don't have a clue, a blatant clue about what's reality and what's going on. Not a single iota of a thought process of what's really going on. Because they're stuck in one certain way and one way only. It's not, again, doing the due diligence as they should by looking at both sides. Yeah, sure, we may agree or disagree with certain things, but we really need to have that conversation about where are we and where's our responsibilities lie on. They don't. They don't, and never will.
I need money. Do you know what black people have gone through? Like, they're treated differently. They're called the N-word.
The whole black community being called the N-word. You do realize, first and foremost, not every single black person uses that word. But we know what certain community people and certain people that do that, rap music, or that have been around it, and they do it to each other, not in a derogatory way, but they kind of do it like, hey, what's up, brother? You know, kind of like, hey, what's up? You know, giving each other a handshake, just greeting each other. But they say that they get called it the most when it's kind of their own people doing that towards them, whether it's racially weaponized, motivated, or whether it's just still a greeting. If they don't want people to use it, then they have to stop using it. It's just like, if you want something to be done, then you got to do something to fix that problem so it's not going to be constant or continuous. It's that cycle of just really confusion and people that don't understand that when you look at people using the N-word, yes, it can be weaponized. It can be used hatefully, but also people in that community use it as a greeting towards each other. They use it in the rap community, gangster rap. You know, you hear it all the time. You hear it on certain channels or certain things that you watch. If they don't want people to use it, then they need to stop using it and stop being okay with people using it, or even being okay with their own not using it anymore. That's just it. Because it's this whole thing of we can't just say that it's white people doing it. It's them too, the black communities that are doing it. And they're perpetuating it. Not every single black person is doing it, of course. Not every white person and other people are doing it. But the people that are, it's because it's how today we see it. We see it as in rap music. We hear about it. And people just rap along to their favorite song. And then when they get to that part, some people are like, oh, shouldn't say it. Other people are just like full blatantly blaring it and saying it with no fucks to give. I've been called the N-word, not in a good way. Not like, hey, what's up, homie? Or, hey, brother, what's up? I've been called the N-word. I've been called a cracker. Okay. Just remember, I'm a salty cracker because I'm a salty bitch. Thank you. But do I get offended by it? No. I just take it as for what it is. Either you're going to try to use it, weaponize it, and try to assault me with it and insult me. It will not happen because I don't give a fuck. Because words are words. But when it comes to certain communities that think that there's going to be a big uproar about it, and they're like, oh, you can't do that, or you can't say that, nah. You're policing people at this point. It's policing. You're vocally telling us that verbally we can't say things, but you people on the left always like to say certain things that should not be said, or tolerated. And that's just how they do it.
They have to give a talk to their kids for when white cops pull them over.
So when it comes to the whole, oh, white people don't have to have the talk about being pulled over, I've had talks with my kids about it. What to do, what not to do when they get pulled over, or if they ever do get pulled over, or the police start talking to them, what's the appropriate thing to do and not to do, because it's called being a good parent. You have to take responsibility. But what is some alleged black community that we all know that are democratic think about the cops? They hate the cops. What a majority of certain cultural music or movies or things show or allegedly depict people doing towards cops, beating them, allegedly beating them, or allegedly shooting them or killing them, allegedly. That's what is being depicted in the culture thing, in the cultural world of these types of situations. You know, like NWA, they say, fuck the police. You know, they pull people over because they're brown. No, they don't. That's bullshit. That's 100% bullshit. Let's be honest. Because it's what they have been told. Their whole lives, they've been told that white cops target black people, which is a lie, because white people apparently are the alleged racist, and that's not true. So when it comes to truth, what do we know? We know that the obvious statement is it comes from the rap culture, certain movies, certain communities that perpetuate this stuff. So when it looks and sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's obviously a duck. There's no difference. There's no difference at all. None. It's just the left want to claim it's not a duck because they're obviously too blind or ignorant to admit or acknowledge what it is for what it is. That it is what is being perpetuated by a certain group of community that are okay with it or think that this is a lifestyle that people should live in, and they shouldn't.
Their houses are red.
I know a bunch of black people, and they have told me their houses have never been redlined a day in their life, ever. So, wait a minute. Hold on. They're alleging that black people are having their houses redlined at a high rate. Where? Probably more in the Democratic community, not even in the Republican community or somewhere in the red state. Very doubtful. So when it comes to the black community, we know exactly the truth. That there is black on black violence, crime against the black community. The rap culture perpetuates certain words and narratives and actions and speeches and certain things. We know that. But do every person that is listening to that type of music believes that that kind of lifestyle is okay? No. Maybe some people just listen to it for the beat. Maybe some people just listen to it because that's their favorite song. And they grew up listening to it, like Coolio or LL Cool J or other rappers like Big E, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Tupac. It's the culture thing. But when it comes to houses and stuff, there's a different topic about the black community. You can obviously tell that the black community, they have, yes, their own struggles. But one of their not biggest struggle is allegedly having their house red light. That is bullshit.
They're appraised at different prices. Their houses. They're paid less.
Yes, that was alleged that Eminem's mom did allegedly do that. And supposedly, I think she passed away. I don't know when, but recently.
And what? I'm sorry. You don't have money. Oh, it must be really hard, poor white person. It must be hard.
Vanilla Ice did a lot of things differently. He didn't perpetuate bad things. There's a difference between good rap and bad rap. Good rap, you don't have to represent a gang life. You don't have to be about like talking about gangs and shit and drugs and all this bad shit. You can rap about what you see in life without perpetuating things that should not be perpetuated.
It's because you're not willing to be uncomfortable. And I would guarantee you, the vast majority of people that don't do anything, you don't post on social media about what's happening. You don't post on Instagram or Facebook. You don't talk to your friends and family. You won't even put a flag upside down.
Sure, Ice-T may have danced in a way that you didn't agree with, but you know what? That's okay, because some people enjoyed it. Some people liked it. Some people don't. I wasn't a big fan of Vanilla Ice. Just never was. I mean, he did have one song that kind of was catchy, the Ice Ice Baby song, but I think that was just his, in my opinion, his alleged one-track wonder song that made him so popular. Just like the Rick-a-Roll song from whatever the guy's name is that does Rick-a-Roll. Yeah, that's not rap, but that's a different genre. But I'm saying, you know, some people have certain taste in music, but there's the cultural thing.
And only 8 million of you got off your lazy asses on a Saturday and protested a white participation trophy.
The white participation trophy. Yeah, that's just stupid. That's kind of a dirty thing to say and allege. Because who's the ones that want the participation trophy for their whiteness? The lefts. Nobody else does. I don't. I sure fuck don't look for participation trophies because I don't need one. I'm an adult. I know what I can achieve and not achieve and what I can do and not do in life. I don't need somebody sitting there patting me on the back all the time saying, good job for being white. I don't need it. Nobody gets a white participation trophy. Nobody. It's just the left love to use that word and that verbiage because it's the buzzword.
That's how much you don't give a shit. There's a scripture I always use. It's called faith without works is dead.
The left love to quote the Bible. Faith without works is dead. Hallelujah. Praise Jesus. Well, do you see that the left, 99.9% of the time, don't even know the actual quote for the scriptures that they're trying to go for, but they always ad-lib or they do it not verbatim, but they take away things and say things only to fit their narrative. Yeah. Kind of interesting how they always do that. That's why the left are just obviously brain rotted. their brains are just rotted away from the media, because the media only tells them how to think, how to feel, what to do, and when to do it. They will never understand that when it comes to certain things, like trying to quote the Bible correctly, they can't ever do it. If you ask them, okay, since you're using a Bible quote, what verse is that? What verse is with what you are quoting, can you produce the verse correctly and read it verbatim, word for word, without taking anything out of context? Can you do that? They can't do it. The left are not eligible to do it. They aren't even able to do it, because it's like a peanut allergy to them. It's just like facts. It makes them hide and run and scream and cry, because they know that if you look in the Bible, what the Bible actually says, and they know that they're very good at taking words and things out of context. Obviously, we have dealt with it 1,000 times over the year, and I know that. I'm not surprised that they do this. It doesn't surprise me at all. It's sad. It's delusion. They are delusional, because they're trying to put other people into their delusions and be just as gullible and brainwashed as they are. As a fellow journalist, I was asked, how do you deal with reporting on the riots in the Black community? Just how everyone should be honest about it. If there is something going on with the community and they're doing things, you got to point it out and say, this is what is going on. Be factual. Don't lie or sugarcoat it. Again, transparency. You be transparent about it. You be honest. Okay, why are they doing this? So if they're doing it because they're unhappy or something is going on, then we figure it out. Once we figure it out, then we report, here's why they're doing it. We may understand that they're protesting and showing their dismay and their anger for whatever reason that they're showing it, but it's how are they doing it? Well, if they're being peaceful about it, then they're following the constitutional to the letter by peacefully protesting, showing their dismay to whatever it is that they are angry about or protesting about, and you do it truthfully, actually. You don't lie, because that's what people don't want, is people lying about shit. They want people to say, here's what's going on truthfully, because truth will always set you free. But at the same time, you got to look at what really is happening and why is it happening. You got to do your honest work.
I don't want to hear white people say the right things. I want to see you do it. It's not enough to say that I'm not racist.
Well, left people on the left, I hate to tell you this, but y'all kind of do act pretty racist. I'm not going to lie. You people on the left do act a lot like what you claim or allege we conservative Republican people are. You do exactly that to a T. So it's kind of funny that they, want to claim they're not racist, but we all know the left are pretty racist and hateful.
You have to call it out.
I've learned a lot from different people, but one person I really looked up to as a journalist was Edward R. Murrow. Look him up. He is a journalist from either ABC or NBC from 1950s. He's a hell of a good journalist. Look him up, though. He was allegedly, McCarthy alleged Edward R. Murrow as a communist. And Murrow replied back against it, clapping back, saying, no, I'm not a communist. Just because I disagree with what you're saying and how you're doing things does not make me a communist. It just makes me a reporter. I'm reporting on what is being said, what is being done correctly and factually. And you're sitting here calling me a communist. And he does this in good taste. What's up?
You don't want to get your hands dirty.
Well, here's the thing. Some people don't want to do stupid stuff and look like a bunch of, bad people. Look or portray themselves in a bad way. So certain people just kind of would rather live day to day with their life, nothing more, nothing less. But it's how it is.
You would rather just take the top of the beat up with the hoe.
Actually, I did research. He's not a communist. He may be liberal, but he was not a communist.
And that's what happened during the Civil War.
There we go. Now we're talking about the Confederacy, which obviously, again, there's something the left don't know about. The Confederate in the Civil War. Obvious.
We might have won the battle, but the Confederate won the war.
No, he didn't admit to it. Look it up, dude.
Now the Confederates are wearing red hats.
Oh, so now now the left are claiming the Confederates are wearing red hats. Well, I'm not wearing a red hat, by the way. My hat's tan. So we kind of do maybe recognize that some of the alleged people on the left are maybe colorblind or not very good at figuring out that that is not factually correct, because there we go again, trying to blame other people for their issues. It's a they problem, them problem, not a we problem. We people in the South are not the issue for what the left are doing. We are not responsible for their bad actions. We are responsible for our own actions. And we have to hold ourselves accountable to our own actions. The left don't ever want to acknowledge that. Yeah, well, you need to go do some research, because obviously you know nothing about Edward R. Murrow. I've done a lot of research on that man. Sure, he's a liberal. I will admit that, sure, he probably had some liberal ideologies in his days, kind of democratic liberal ideologies that I may not agree with. But the fact that he was a good journalist, he held himself high with integrity. He didn't let his political beliefs interfere with his journalism and how he did things. That always should be something that every journalist should do. Just like, yes, I have conservative values. My conservative values should not interfere with what I'm doing, but should be used as examples and set the examples as, if you believe whether this or this, then believe in it, but don't go out there doing things that you know you shouldn't be doing. That's what happens. Because people get binded up in this whole political crap. like especially tier one media. They get wrapped up in their political beliefs. Sure, it gets attention. Sure, it helps for them to find people that have similar ideologies and beliefs, but that's not good journalism. Good journalism is where you do your job and you do what you got to do. Whether, sure, sometimes you got to call out even your own party that you are aligned with. And yes, it may sting a little, but you got to do that. And that's what Edward R. Murrow always did, was he stood out above and beyond as a journalist to a lot of people, because he wasn't even afraid to call out the Democrats. He wasn't even afraid to just call out the Republicans. He called both sides equally and fairly because that was his job. And he did it with his due diligence and did it with integrity. And he stood for what people need to do as journalists. Back then, that was real journalism. Nowadays, it's you get this whole one side media, other side media, and they're not doing their job. They're just trying to tell you what you want to hear. They need to not just be told what they want to hear, but the truth. And why are they saying what they're saying? Well, here's why. Because McCarthy was accusing anyone that opposed him as an alleged communist. Why is that dangerous? Because for one, that's just pointing at people and saying you're this without factual proof or evidence to align with whether it agrees with you or disagrees with you. He just blatantly said it. And that's not what anyone should do in politics in any way, shape, or form. So people need to understand that. Back in my youth, yes, I learned that a little bit in my youth. And I've read up a lot about the Constitution and stuff and learned about it, because that's part of what being a journalist is knowing the Constitution. Knowing that this is what American people believe, the Constitution, and what I believe in. I align myself as believing in the Constitution. But also at the same time, just because I believe in the Constitution and other people out there may not, does not mean that I'm going to think of them as an alleged communist, but actions speak louder than words. Why I call the progressive communist is because the way that they hold themselves, they act, they put themselves out there as such with those ideologies. Labeling people is not good, but doing it without any proof or facts is even worse. Reading it and reciting it, you say, are two different things. But still, even if you recite it and you know it, at least you have the understanding and the fundamentals of what the Constitution says.
Leader,
We'll get into questions here in a bit. Let me finish this.
Confederacy is in the White House. Their grand wizard.
Yes, again, calling Trump an alleged grand wizard. That's sad. That's just obviously sad enough. That, again, this is the childish crap that the left do. It takes only a bit of research to understand that why we call the progressives communist and why they hold themselves as such. It's because of exactly that. They hold themselves as alleged communists. They have those ideologies. They're pushing those ideologies on people. But again, people don't want it that way.
It's up to you, white people. If this country failed,
So why is it up to white people? Why? Why is it up to white people to do these things? It should be up to everyone, not just one person or one demographic. For fuck's sake, like, really, we're above this at this point. This is just inhumane treatment towards people, trying to just get one certain demographic to do something and be complicit in your narcissistic, racist ideologies. That's just dumb, in my opinion. I don't see a point to this. You're not helping yourself. You're worsening your stance. Well, and you're right. The forefathers did know what they were doing. They knew what they were up against. They knew that doing this, there would be a lot of pushback from people that opposed what they believed in.
it's going to be because enough of you didn't think it would affect you.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to the left, everything that they do affects us. So, like them saying that they want to tax the rich, they're not really trying to tax the shit out of the rich. Who are they taxing? Us. Predominantly everyone at a higher rate. So they think it's only going to affect the rich. It's not. It's going to affect everyone. That's just them being greedy. That's them doing whatever they're doing. And they want people to suffer. For what reason? Oh, I know, Schadenfreude, because they love Schadenfreude. They know how to make people suffer, and they get their jollies off of it. I will never understand the left. I may never, ever understand the left. And that's okay. I may not have to understand why they are in that position of believing in what they believe in. But as much as I will disagree with them, I still think and feel that they have every right to believe. But they don't have a right to push something that is anti-American. And as much as they try every day to do such, we know what happens. There's going to be pushback. There's going to be feedback that they don't like. They're going to have to tolerate us pushing back against them. If we just do what we got to do to show these people, hey, this is why we're up against you and we're opposing you, maybe you can understand. But they won't. They don't want to understand. And it's 7 years ago, not 5. But you guys were close, but just one number off.
First, they came for the immigrants, but I wasn't an immigrant, so I didn't say anything.
Again, this is kind of perpetuating that they're trying to push whatever they want on us.
Then they came for the Muslims.
Nobody's coming for Muslims, really, honestly. Who's coming for them? There is a bigger difference between we can tolerate the non-alleged radical Muslims here and then not allowing the alleged radical Muslims to be here. There's a bigger difference. But that's, again, when it comes to them. They think that we're up in arms against everything. No, there are just certain things we're not for. We're not, again, for radicalization. And if anything that is alleged radicalized that we see, it's a problem that must be dealt with. It must be extinguished. We have to do it legally by either telling them, go back to your country, shoo, sorry, can't be here, because the things that you are allegedly saying you want are not what American people want. Or holding them accountable legally and doing what is right. They don't want people to, the non-radicalized, alleged radicalized Muslims don't want people who don't want to convert to Islam be part of Islam. They're okay with that. But the alleged radicalized Muslim or followers of Islam, they want to push Islam into everyone's house. What if I'm a Christian and I don't believe in Allah or Muhammad? So what? Who cares? What if I believe in the flying Barton spaghetti monster that looks like Barney the purple dinosaur shitting out rainbow turds? Whatever. You have the constitutional right to believe whatever you believe in. But you do not have the right to push it on other people. And that's not what Christians are doing. That's not what good Muslims are doing. That's just bad alleged radical Muslims are doing. The radical Islamists, extremists are doing. That's extremism. We don't care if you're Muslim and you don't eat pork, or if you're Jewish and you don't eat pork, or you're Seventh-day Adventist and you don't eat pork. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to eat pork. You don't have to eat shellfish. You don't have to eat certain foods that other religions say it's okay to eat. We're not going to push you to eat pork. We're not going to push you to eat shellfish. We're not going to push you to do certain things. But the only thing we're going to push is that you follow the law and you do not do things that should not be done. And Shaky, you brought up a good point. People I've heard that are alleged Muslims on YouTube have mentioned that Muslims can't own dogs because apparently it's something to do with like it doesn't help in their religion or something. I can't remember what it was. But I thought that was crazy. Like, wow. Seriously. That's just, I find that to be a little too much for me. Yeah, okay. To me, in my opinion, I'd rather own a dog. I would rather have a dog because I can train the dog to do certain things like protect my house, or if an intruder comes in, do what he's got to do to deal with it. I don't care that if you're Muslim and you don't want a dog, that's fine. That's your choice. If that's what your Quran says, for you to believe in, then believe in it. But don't push it on other people and say everyone should not be allowed to have a dog. That to me is extremism. Well, they're allegedly now in North Korea, I think, not allowing people to eat dog anymore. So, yay. At least they're finally getting something done, at least. Thank God. About damn time. Yeah, you and JD Delay, Shaky, would say the same damn thing. You and JD Delay would say the same freaking thing. He absolutely said that same thing. He's like, yeah, I love my dog more than I love people. Hey, more power to JD Delay for that one. Big props, big ups. Definitely. And it's okay to love your dog more than people. Some people do. I don't like being around people a lot. It doesn't suit me being in a big group with people. It's not my cup of tea. But I deal with it when I have to, but when I don't have to, it's fine. I just do what I got to do. But people just need to understand this.
Who were here on a visa, but I didn't say anything because.
And here's another thing. If you're on a visa and your visa is expired, you gotta go. Bye. Bye. Sorry. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You gotta go, toots.
I had to watch.
There are certain religions that have certain taboo things, KY, that are just really different than what you and I believe in. Very, very different. And they're lying differently. So some people, are going to be that way.
Lasso. Then they came for the transgender athletes.
Oh, now we're going to talk about the transgender athletes. You mean the ones that shouldn't be in certain sports because they're not the gender that they're born with?
I had to go watch Major League Baseball, so I didn't say anything. Then they came for the black people.
They never came for nobody recently has ever came for the black people. So obviously, that's a crock of crap. That's wrong. And that's obvious that nobody ever is going to come for those people. It's just virtual signaling, people. That's all it is. And KY, you brought up a good point. We'll talk about that here in a sec. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how these lefties think.
Well, I had to go to work because I needed money.
Well, that's called being a responsible person by going to work and doing your job. It's everyday life. It's called adulting, which something the left are not really good at doing because the left don't know how to be adults. They just know how to be locals. Something we already kind of knew about the left. They're the locals.
And then they came for me.
Which they never did.
And there was nobody left to think for me.
The end. It's like a nightmare story all over again.
Remember that white people?
Remember, white people, whatever this guy says, it's pure hypocrisy and bullshit. Don't believe what this guy says. Because we're not responsible for what our alleged ancestors may or may not have done. We do not have to pay for those sins. America has already paid for the sins. And we've already done it. We don't need to know more. Now we just got to move forward. That's where we got to be as a country. Move freaking forward. We got to grow up. We got to get out of this. It's the white people's responsibility for every fucking thing because white people are bad. That's bullshit. That's just racist. Why? Why do it?
This country's going to fail, and it's going to be because of your silence.
So, what silence is it going to be on us? Why is it us that are gonna, us white people, gonna have to be responsible for our silence? Because we don't want to be complicit with your people on the left ideologies? I know, Kayla. It's just weird. Like, again, why should white people take the burden? Oh, because it's virtuous. Yay. It's just stupid. It's hypocrisy, it's idiocracy, and it's just a bunch of bullshit. As much as I may not like the left, they're human beings too. Just like I may not agree with trans people, but they're human beings too. Do I degrade them? Do I humiliate them and demoralize them? No. I understand that they are humans. They have their right to what they believe in, even though I may think totally, completely differently than they do. They're still human beings and should be treated as such. Unless they start acting a particular way towards me, I'm not going to treat them any differently. If they tell me or demand me using their pronouns, I'm not going to. Because then that's just me pretending that you're something you're not. I'm not going to align myself with pretending that you're something that you're not. Because that's not right. I don't lie to people. And I will not lie to people. And I never think it's a good idea to lie to people. But lying to people like that is just inhumane. Exactly. Everybody should be treated as humans. But yes, we can disagree with their political ideologies. But until, until people start realizing we're just done with the left lying about things, people just are never going to understand. They're not going to understand that looking in the future, what we do now will affect it. And what we have to do is do what's correct. Help so that the future is better and brighter for people to come. So that's just the thing. Shaky P says her mom is left, or their mom is left leaning, but she ain't having none of this alleged radical Islam stuff either. Well, that's because obviously she's aware of what's going on. She's smart enough to see it. And that's good that your mom sees it, Shaky. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, buddy. No need for congratulations, just hard work for a long time. Something about tractors, don't know. What is it? We're not doing calls today, guys. Sorry. That's why. So anyway. So yeah. So let's, be real and transparent with each other about this shit. Because people think that it's okay to pretend that this mental illness. I was going to show you guys something, but I can't find it. Whatever. It's okay for this mental illness to keep going. I don't know what I was going to show you guys. I forgot what I was going to show you. Damn it. No, damn it. Damn it, man. One female leader from Egypt over 1,000 years ago or more sees test her food for poison in it. Right. They don't talk about that stuff. Oh, yeah. Irish people are built very fucking differently. They are. Irish people are built not because of, like, how they were raised, but, it was what they were taught. And what they were taught was pretty much suck it up, buttercup. Deal with it. Make your life the way you should. Not by blaming other people for bullshit propaganda. I think, a little bit of Irish in me. I think. But I'm not sure. I haven't done a lot of research. I know I'm pretty much a lot Southern. I do have a lot of Southern roots and background. But that's just different. If you think about this, I think everybody is tired of this whole thing. Irish people were slaves. Oh, yeah, but the left don't want to talk about that. They don't want to acknowledge that. I just think if I do have Irish ancestry, cool. That's great. Maybe that's one reason why I can tolerate my liquor a little bit more than some of my other friends. I don't know. I think it's okay. It's cool. Shit. It's what it is. French and whatever that is. But that's good. You know your background and your heritage, KY. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be proud of who you are. You should be proud, but it's not about your heritage. It's about the fact that you should be proud that you're American, period. Plain and simple. That's it. You're an American. You should be proud to be an American. Yes, you do have some different backgrounds and maybe your bloodline or your ancestry, but you should always remember American first. And that's where you should feel and be in life. And that's where people sometimes kind of get the wrong message about that. It's people thinking, oh, I should be proud I'm Irish or Scottish or German or Norwegian or whatever. No. It's, yes, you should feel proud that, yes, you have some of that, but also, again, be proud you're American. American is the one thing that you will always be. You should always be proud of. I'm not saying it's wrong to be proud of anything other than that, but you should remember you're American. You were born here, you live here. This is your home. Just like everyone else. This is our home. Our home is being whittled away by these libtards. These liberals, these progressives, these socialists, these Democrats, communists are whittling away at our Constitution little by little, poking the bear little by little, to how far they can get. I think we need to stop them from doing that because we can only, as humans, deal with so much. After that, I think it gets to the point where people are kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. I think we're at that point. People are just not wanting to think about it. True, pride, I think, I don't know, I'm not really good on biblical terminology, but you can be proud of something, but be humble. Remember that. Be humble. Don't be too prideful, but be humble. Because being humble, yes, it does take a lot to do as such, but it's easier said than done, but you have to do it because that's what supposedly I think you were referring to in the Bible. It says to do. Be humble, but not too prideful, but be proud, but not overextend it to a certain degree. I will have to look that up, KY. I don't know anything about that, dude. I'm sorry, buddy. I am really, really freaking sorry. It's not because I'm ignorant and I don't want to look it up. It's just I haven't looked it up because I haven't thought about looking that up. But at least for what you're telling me, I will. I'll do some research. All right, I'm going to pack a dip. Y'all, I think it's about time. Well, there's a lot of sin. If you, I think, look in the Bible, there's a lot of sin. There's a lot of things the Bible tells us not to do and tells us what we can and cannot do. But that is one of them. Is, or not maybe that indirect, but one of them is thou shalt not lie, commit adultery, etc., etc. You all know the Bible. If you read the Bible, you would know what the Bible says and does not say, and what goes and doesn't go. You need to, like, people need to really look up the Bible. Because the Bible is a tool. It is not a, what the heck do they call it? It's not something that is used to just point out the wrongdoing of people. Like the Bible says, thou shalt not judge unless ye be judged yourself, or unless the first person without sin can cast the first stone. Well, apparently nobody is without sin, so nobody can cast the first stone. But do people still judge? Yes. Do people do certain things that they shouldn't do and that the Bible kind of says not to do? Yes. But free will does come with consequences and for our own actions and thereof. Well, I don't go off by just movies. I go off by what it really said, my dude. because the movies don't always give the correct adage of or verbiage of what is being said. Exactly. They are in the there are things in the Ten Commandments that we are told. Now, again, people do things because some people just don't give a shit. Some people are not religious. Some people know it's probably wrong, but they just don't care. People have their own choices, but every action has a reaction. Does that mean that I should go out there and say and do certain things? No. Like, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, thou shalt not take thy Lord's name in vain, thou shalt keep the Sabbath holy, thou shalt not bear false witness. For anyone wondering what bearing false witness is, you're just basically falsely testifying or falsely saying something you shouldn't be saying. There are things that we know that are right or wrong. The left do not care about it. The left have never cared. I will have to look it up. I don't think I've heard of it, but I'll look it up. Who's in it, by the way? Do you know who is in it? KY says he's dipping skull. Well, that's good. What kind of skull are you dipping? Oh, Skullberry. Cool. I just don't like skull. That's nasty. Oh, Brad Pitt? I'll have to look it up. Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. I like Morgan Freeman. I think he's a really good actor. I think I could say he's a very versatile actor, but he kind of gets stuck, in my opinion, with a lot of the good guy kind of roles. But he's a really good actor. Morgan Freeman is one of my favorite actors. Brad Pitt, I mean, he's a good actor. I'm not gonna put him on my top tier list of my favorite actors, but he's a good actor. What was that movie that Morgan Freeman? Oh fuck! You're making me think of a Morgan Freeman. Shawshank Redemption. That one I have seen. I don't know if some of you have seen that movie, but fuck, go watch it. He does really good in that movie. Cheers, y'all. No, the Bible, I don't think ever uses that terminology, allegedly. But I just say that because I'm saying allegedly because I'm not sure. It could be alleged on certain things. I use that to say things when I'm not sure about certain things. Or I'm trying to tippy-toe legally around a topic. I'm going to do one little killer filler. So, okay. Here's something funny. And if you're a Christian, I would like any Christian to answer this. You know how our whole life we've been told that Jesus was born supposedly on or in December on like Christmas. Well, look in the Bible. It does not tell you exactly when he was supposedly born. But it was told to us that way because of what people want to allege is true about the Christian faith. Just like Easter is commercialized. Oh, you're Catholic? Then you probably know what I'm talking about then, Shaky. You obviously definitely are going to know what I'm talking about here. Oh, well, I know what you're talking about. But when it comes to like religion in itself, we've been told our whole lives, because I used to be Catholic. I was once Catholic. I got out of it. There are things I do not agree with the Catholic Church about. I'm not going to go into details about it, but there are things I disagree with the Catholic Church about. If you are a Catholic, cool. Believe in what you want to believe in. But think about this. When we were told Jesus was supposedly born in December, when we don't know at all when he was born, doesn't that seem weird and interesting? Because it's just another way for us to sensationalize things. Like believing in presents, gifts, this, that, and the other. But you also have to remember how the Bible speaks. Whether the Bible is using metaphorical terminology or verbiage, that's definitely something you got to implement too. You have to implement that too. With how was it being spoken? And who was God talking to? Or who was being taught, whoever was talking, addressing it to? Was it to the Israelites or was it to the followers of the Christian faith at that time? Which would be like Peter, Paul, Luke, John, Mark, Matthew, Judas, who betrayed Jesus. Because a lot of what we have been told, sure, we can believe it. We can believe, what we were told. But if you want the truth, you got to go look for it. You can't just believe everything you hear. That's the important thing that I'm trying to have the big takeaway with you folks here. Do research, because sometimes it's right under your nose or our nose, and we just either are too blind to see it or ignorant to want to pay attention to it, or you just don't look hard enough to see that the answers could be right there in front of you. And no matter what, whether you listen to me because you maybe believe what I tell you, or you follow me because you may agree with some of my thoughts and disagree with some other of my thoughts, or because you think you're cute and you're a troll, that's cool too. But just know that the world will not always realm around people that are just going to go, trust me, bro. There's going to be a lot of research done. And there has to be. And that's why I offer, I do what I do. We're on 7 platforms right now. If you go to Conservative Newswave, let's take a look at it. They were Israelites, by the way. They weren't from Turkey. Where are you getting that they're allegedly from Turkey? That doesn't make any sense to me. All right, we'll do that in a sec. So if you look, go to Conservative Newswave. We're on iHeart. We're on 7 different platforms right now, as of right now. And you can see it. I haven't done research on it. So, who did you say was from Turkey? Was any of Jesus' disciples from Turkey? None of Jesus' original 12 disciples were originally from Turkey. If you look, modern day Asia Minor, they were all from Galilee or Judea. In the Middle East, however, according to ancient Christian traditions, several disciples, including John the Apostle, Phil the Apostle, traveled and lived and died or were buried what's in now Turkey. That's where that's being alleged that they traveled to and died. But most all of them weren't from Turkey. So there you go. See, do some research. I didn't believe it. What I said, if you listen to what I said during that conversation, I said, if he allegedly did do something like that, then yes, he's a bad person. If he didn't do it, then why bring up his name? The link for what? Nobody's able to come up, dude. I can see what you're texting me, dude. So, what are you looking for? Well, that'd be interesting if it's a full moon on that day. By the way, if you guys look up who is Conservative Video Dipper online, AI over review will bring Conservative Video Dipper is a independent online content creator and political commentator. He runs digital media channels, including a Conservative Video Dipper YouTube channel, and presence on platforms like Rumble and X Man Southern, which is me, where he discusses political commentary, media, editing, and current events with conservative viewpoints, often incorporating a casual lifestyle elements like tobacco dipping. Obviously. Go to Conservative Newswave. Here, I'll drop the link for conservativenewswave.com for you guys. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to spell. Here you go. Ah. Go check out that website. You can find me on those platforms. Amazon picked me up finally today. By the way, Tim told me, he showed me that we got picked up. I mean, anybody with a different, born in a different country can have American type names. Maybe it was back then spelt differently. Who knows? There's a bunch of different reasons, dude. Good question to ask Google, not me, because I am not freaking Google here. I'm not like somebody that knows everything about religion. I just know certain things about religion and certain religious things. No, that's not being anecdotal. That's just being honest. Telling you from the viewpoint I see. I just gave it to you. Go to Conservative Newswave. You can find me there. You can find the platforms I'm on. I just did. You just bypassed it. It's right there. ConservativeNewsWave.com. Devil, if you're not going to pay attention to the fact that I already dropped it, then that's a you problem, not a me problem. What do you want me to say? I already gave you the website to go to find me. Now, do as you will with what I've given you. So there is news, apparently, that's being purported that murder dropped 18.1%, tying lowest rate in record history. Robbery fell 18.5%, nearly 38,500 fewer robberies. Rape declined 7.6%, 10,000 fewer victims. Aggravated assault fell 7.2%, 62,700 fewer attacks. Property crimes fell 12.4%. 9 of the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives captured twice as many previous 4 years administration. 5,000 child predators and human traffickers arrested, up to 13%. This is coming from the White House. Violent crimes plunged down to 9.3% in 2025, the largest annual decline on record. So this is good. This is what we need. Things like this. People already know who I am. If I was not known for who I am, I wouldn't have been on 24, 25 platforms in the past. Now up to 7. Back again. Because some of those platforms went out of business. People know who I am. They listen. Those that listen and understand. By the way, for anyone wondering, nationwide gas prices. Regular is about like a $5, $5.25. Plus went to $6.07. Premium $6.73. Diesel's about $6 if you round it up to the nearest dollars. So that's not bad. That's pretty good. President Trump delivers largest drop in violent crimes in American history. That's good. Yeah, you can. Go to any of the things that you see that say conservative news wave, click on it, and you can play it. All right, I can do it. Go to Google, type in conservativenewswave.com. You'll find it. We're there. It's just you're probably either doing it wrong or something. I don't know. You should see it. It's there. But yeah, definitely. Oh, when was this? Oh, Trump talking about Caroline Leavitt. All of this stuff that I'm talking about here is on Conservative News Wave. I know, KY. It's obvious they're not smart enough to figure things out. Because they think they're cute. And it's not cute. It just shows they're ignorant. I just tolerate them because they're giving me views. That's it. I allow it to a certain degree because they're giving me view counts. They're helping our channel. They're helping us. Definitely. If somebody can invent that, I will buy it. But KY, you got to remember too, you're also admin. You can do away with them as you choose and please. So you have that ability. Right now it's 70 degrees in Washington. Well, 81, but it said 70 with an overcast cloud. But yeah, you guys go to conservativenewswave.com. Check it out. We're on that 7 platforms right now, as is, which that's really good that we're on 7 platforms. And we already did post our second Well, then, if you're going to be admin, you got to do what you got to do. But we posted our second episode of Conservative Newswave broadcast. And again, Amazon picked us up. So we're on iHeart. We're on, hold on, let me get you the platforms that we are on. real quick since you were asking. So we're on iHeart, Amazon, and where's the other one? I think iCast. I think that one too. Let me look for it. Hold on. I'm trying to find it. But if you go to Conservative Newswave, you can see some of the platforms that we're on. We're on 7 platforms right now. Or I am. Me and Tim both are on 7 platforms, which we're very proud of. I think that is a great achievement. So we're on iHeart and Acast, Spotify, Amazon, which I've already said, and some other ones. If you go to the website, you can see it kind of shows.
To appease just them.
But like I said, go to the platforms that are on Conservative Newswave and listen to the show. Because I recommend people literally listening to the show. It's very enlightening. Exactly. I'm there on Rumble. I'm there on most platforms. You guys can see me. It's not like I'm hiding anything or I'm afraid to be on those platforms. I'm not going to hide it from y'all. It's an achievement. That's the thing. We're proud to achieve it. If I wasn't a tier 2 freelance journalist, why would I say it? I don't have nothing to hide. I'm not hiding anything. I am a tier 2 freelance journalist. Have been for a long time now. You can look. My credentials are there. You can hear when I'm talking and how I'm discussing things. That it's obvious I've got a lot of research done and under my belt and time that I put into it. So you guys can find it. Just go to Conservative Newswave. It's all there. Everything that you need to know about me is there. Nothing is hiding from you guys. It's general public information. Y'all just can look it up. Tobacco KY just looked it up. You saw that it was there. It's all there. Everything you want to know. Oh, people are reporting that Biden, or not Biden, excuse me, Obama may come back. Yeah, right. That's just not going to happen because Obama ran twice. I don't think he can run again. Probably, or they got humiliated, which they typically do. Because when they find that, hey, you can easily look this up, they don't want to say anything more. But speaking of bed, I need to go eat dinner and get ready for bed because I got a long day tomorrow. I got shit I got to do tomorrow. But I will be back tomorrow, as usual. It's kind of, yeah, normal. And I might do a later live. And that's okay. Because they gave me view counts, view timing. So it's fine, KY. It's just their typical thing that they love to do. So anyway, check me out tomorrow. Look for me. I will be back, as always. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Go to conservativenewswave.com. Go to my Rumble channel, Conservative Video Dipper. My X account, Conservative Video Dipper. Like I said, I have nothing to hide there at all. TikTok, same thing, Conservative Video Dipper. You'll find me. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.